Hello, and welcome back with another night of the CICE Esports. Tonight it is League of Legends, University of Toronto versus the University of Alberta Amber. I'm Dragon here with my co-caster Ninjix. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing fantastic. It's gonna be a wild one. We got UFT versus U Alberta, and we're on the top 8 of this League of Legends competition on this day 3 of CIE. You had some beautiful panels up and before, but now we're gonna get right into the nitty gritty, on to the action, the packed action. We're gonna see a lot of plays from the top lane, mid lane, bottom lane. We're just gonna see it all go down. But I want to ask Dragon, what do you think is gonna happen? What kind of plays are we gonna see from here?
I think it's going to come down to champion composition for both these teams. It is a best of one to lead into this. So basically,
Mm.
whoever wins this is going to advance. So it's a one and done situation. The moment a team wins, the moment a team loses, that's it. It's going to come down to compositions. I know when it comes to League in the past, you have some really strong metas and plays, especially when it comes from like Aatrox has been really good in the top lane. You can also see some unique junglers like Jackson and Vi maybe coming out to play a little bit. So it's going to come down to champion composition. We might see something unique now. Someone might throw out a Fiddlesticks or a Vigar. I don't know.
I don't know. It's going to be quite the doozy. We're gonna see some insane plays. I'm really looking for the jungle composition here. I feel like it's gonna be key in this gameplay. It's a best of one, as you said. It's gonna be the make or break. If they can get a good jungle, if they can get some good flanks in here, even in early game, it's gonna be quite interesting to see what they can go with. But it all depends on the champions that they go for here.
Yeah, and I think we'll find out when we go in. I don't know if it's fearless draft or standard draft where once, well, oh no, it's a best of one. So whoever they pick, that's who they're picking. So you really
Yeah.
gotta be on the ball with who you pick. That composition is gonna be your
It's
do or die.
important. It's important. It's gonna be it. I mean, it's top 8. Top eights, I feel like, are probably the most crucial step in these competitions, solely because it's very difficult to come back from here, and it's gonna make or break it for you in the semis. That's just how it is.
Oh, it
Top eights,
definitely will.
yeah,
So maybe the one thing that's gonna factor in is which champions will get banned during the ban phase.
very true, very true.
Because
Yeah,
if a single champion is banned, like we don't know, say someone on University of Alberta is an Ezreal main. If Ezreal gets banned, how is that going to change their combat capability? That's going to be a change because some people focus on one champion, that's their main, that's their go-to. Do they have a fallback? And that goes for every single one of these players on
and
both sides.
you can't hesitate, can you? You can't hesitate because if you don't have a fallback, it's gonna throw everything up, and especially for that early game, there's some heroes that play for the late game. You're gonna want those. You're gonna have some ADSs that are gonna try to at least pick it up on that margin if something's faltering. But there, you can't really leave room for error.
Not necessarily, no, you can't. And it's also going to come in down to which champions are picked, item builds, composition, who's going to be on support, who's going to be on ADC, who's going to take the top lane, and what is the strategy? Are they going to try and go for a wall build and just try and turtle it to try and big start just skirmishing in the early game and then build into heavy items into the late game and start attacking? Or are they going to try and do a quick match shutout and just try to get the advantage as much as they can?
Yeah, and we're gonna be heading into the teams here to see who is going to be on who. Let's take a look on these teams to see what we're going to be facing. The beautiful players that we're going to be seeing. Prague is going to be on that top lane. Destra on that jungle. Mid is going to have the Hollow, while we have Rocks on that bottom, and we have Water performing that beautiful roll down there as well, helping out with that ADS. It's going to be very sweet on the side of UFT. Taking a look at Alberta to see the players that we have on that roster coming on through. Bai on that top lane, Bok Choy on that mid, Play Stabo on that bot lane, full clearing the jungle as he's playing on jungle, and Valadino on that ADS role as well.
Well, I'm looking at these. I'm looking at these player banners, both from Toronto and Alberta. University of Toronto, if they decide to use those champions, a Lux support will go insane if they keep with that. Because if you build Lux properly, she is an absolute menace, especially with her laser ultimate. And Fiddlesticks in the jungle, there's been arguments for Fiddlesticks not really being much of a jungler decently in the competitive scene. That's more of an ARAM and just base matchmaking scene. So if the champion banners of both these teams are correct, these are some very unique team compositions that can go make or break.
Wow. Yeah, I'm really interested to see the synergy as well. Like I want to see how they flow into each other. It's going to be very, very strange to see what they can pull off with specifically, because as you said, if they have a good Lux, there's some big Lux haters out there, really big ones. So if they don't have it, they're gonna be happy. But we know that there's a very tough champion if built well. So I kind of want to ask, like, what kind of synergy are we expecting from these teams?
I think the synergy where we could be expecting, and I will say just for clarification, this is going off the composition just on those banners. If that would be the case, the synergy is going to be early game skirmishing to build into mid to late game items, and then the moment that opportunities arise, isolate and take out in team fights, and also objective prioritization. We'll have dragons, we'll have void scrubs, we'll have later on into the game one of the two variants of the Iacon, as well as Baron Nashor showing up as well. If one of these teams can take out the other in a full-blown team fight and secure at least 3 of these objectives, they'll be sitting pretty with a very good gold advantage.
It's going to be very interesting to see how they go them through. And as these players get ready and they're trying to set up on everything they need to, we're going to be taking a look and taking a start on thinking on some enough about the champions. Now I'm on the play styles. How are we thinking? What are we thinking? What's kind of what kind of first focus goals? We know how typically teams play. They kind of go for those early positions that they need to. But I want to hear on what it could be. There could be a different goal. Could they be trying some new type of route? What do you think they're going to be trying to cook up here?
We could see potentially some lane splitting, maybe bottom lane or support, like going into around mid, maybe going into the jungler doing their job, but also being near the top lane in case the top laner needs some form of assistance. We could see plays that are categorized to light skirmishing, as well as as well as securing objective perimeters before actually going in for an assault. Because you can secure an objective with wards and things like that. However, you can't really guarantee it because there's going to be there's going to be the threat of the opposing team. So when the opportunity arises, you get rid of that threat from the opposition. That will give your team the opportunity to secure those first early game goals, like the Void Grubs and potentially the first Dragon or two.
Yeah, and I don't know if they're gonna try to change anything up in this case scenario. Maybe Alberta will in this case. I'm not too sure. Hearing from the grapevine, but I kind of want to see some different style of gameplays because we want something unique to come out of. I know League is a pretty solved game in some standards, but there's always room for adaptation. If you can pull something that no one has ever expected before, or if you try to pull some tactic that seems outlandish or absurd, but it could trip up and pull the rung out of any team in this case. Are we going to expect that at all?
100%. Oh, 100%. If these teams want to play, because it's also esports, it's still a game. People want to have fun. You want to bring out an unorthodox build, like damage per second Lux. Just give her abilities and items that just give her a lot of mana, but can also take and throw a heavy punch. Just do unorthodox builds, because sometimes the unorthodox can be the game-winning decision. Be unorthodox. Have fun with it.
And we're going to have drafts ready to go as we're going to take a look at the drafts that we're going to have for these two teams to see what champions they pick. It's going to be quite the dude. Let's see what they cook up with here.
Yeah, well, first off, we got on the 25-second countdown the first band coming out from University of Toronto, and already taking out someone. I don't unfortunately recognize that portrait, but I think if I remember correctly, they are. Oh, so Varus, getting confirmation that's Varus for the ban from University of Toronto. University of Alberta looks like they're going to be banning. Oh, I think that's a support. Jace actually coming out on the side of Amber. So, okay, Varus and Jace being banned out already are very decent because they can be very versatile champions. The second ban coming out on the side of University of Toronto. My eyesight is not with me today. Lysandra coming out on the side of University of Toronto again. The ban picks right now for Toronto, they're really going for a... They want to ban out people that can both do magic damage as well as removal of any form of like rooting and suppression tactics. So they want to go and get rid of those like heavy mana hitters right now going into this. So it's a good, unique, decent ban. Oh, and the University of Toronto banning out actually one of the player banners from the side of University of Alberta. So that could potentially be someone's main off the table. Misfortune being banned as well now from University of Alberta. Unfortunate ADC ban. Misfortune, if built properly, is insane, especially with her ranged capabilities and damage. The only drawback with Misfortune is that she drains mana insanely quickly. But with her being off the table, might be a good call on the side of University of Alberta. But now we are into the first pick. University of Toronto with their first champion pick. We'll see. And they're going with potentially Echo. Okay. I've seen Echo play a little bit in the past, and if built, it's going to come down to, again, if you build them correctly, it's going to be good. Mokai for the side of University of Alberta. That could potentially be a heavy hitter, once again, if they're built correctly.
Yeah.
What are you thinking overall, like with these bans and these champions? How are you thinking?
I'm thinking that, like you said, they're going for that non-magic root composition, which means I feel like it's the counters that's going to be very it's going to be very interesting to see what they go with. If they're trying to go for that position, they're trying to go for that focus, what will the other team have into response? We got Maokai, we got Orin on the table now for the side of the University of Amber, but it's going to be very interesting to see how they adapt with that. And like I said, we have the team compositions, but I feel like the uniqueness, and they're going to have to pull something interesting here if they want to take it for themselves. So, we're going to have to see how the rest of these picks go.
And right now with Mokai and Orin on the table for the side of Alberta, those are two very strong heavy hitters. Ambrosia for University of Toronto. That I think is potentially a counter into, I believe, the Orin. So that is a good pick. And wondering where Ambrosia is going to be put, I'm going to believe my two guesses will be Ambrosia is going to be either in the support role. Oh, and Bessa. Why was I saying Ambrosia? Shen coming in on the side of Toronto as well. So I think Ambessa is going to be the support. That will be my one guess. I think Ambessa's going to be in the support role. For the side of Alberta, once again, as the time clicks down, Rise for the side of Alberta. Not a champion I'm familiar with myself. This is going to be a first time I'm seeing them on the table.
Like I said, interesting picks.
We need to see how they play.
We want to see unique stuff like this. If they want to change the tides, it could be a very good response to any of the champions and rosters. We're going to move on to the next bans here. We have one coming from University of Amber.
Yeah, and that's That's Caitlyn, the markswoman of Piltover, the sheriff being taken out. Good long-range capabilities, very decent in the ADC role. So banning another, that's two ADCs banned from the side of Alberta, and then the next ban coming in from Toronto, I believe, is Senna. Senna is a believe it also an ADC. So far we have 3 ADCs being banned, 2 for the side of Alberta, 1 on the side of University of Toronto. The next ban coming out, they're banning Braum.
Hmm.
I mean,
Interesting.
getting rid of Braum and the Shield is a pretty good idea. And I know that mustache anywhere. Final ban for the side of Toronto. We get a drum roll in the chat. Oh, who is that?
One.
So, okay, now with all the bans on the table, this is a unorthodox setup. Like I said, unorthodox might go into their play, and this is like, it's decent. It's decent. There's some good versatility and variety on who's kind of been taking out, but is it enough for both these sides to really go into, like, are these the picks they want? Did they do enough to try and remove any type of mains or fallbacks in case? We have Zaya on the side of Alberta coming out to play. And this composition so far for Alberta is looking very mana heavy. Very, very mana heavy. Both in mana consumption and mana use. So U of T, if they want a potential to really bring this into favor for them, build into magic resistance. The next
champion. It could, yeah. That, I mean, like we said before, they're banning they're banning a lot of that managed damage. They're banning all that root, so they're gonna try to see if they can try to use that to their advantage. You know, these unique picks, these unique team compositions. We're gonna have Ash and Karma coming from the side of University of Toronto. So how are we expecting this? Those last two picks, that's their full roster lock now, Dragon. What are you thinking here?
That is Toronto's roster locked, and we are looking at some decent flexibility, versatility, and as well as some heavy hitters with potential for rotations. I will be very curious to see which role is playing which. I'm going to probably think that the Ash and Karma are going to take the bottom lane support roles. And Bessa might take mid. Echo might be either, and Bessa's going to be top or mid. Echo might be mid, and probably Shen might be in the jungle. Lulu coming in on the final champion selection for University of Alberta. And this is our champion composition for both teams. The bands at the bottom. This is who is coming into the arena tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna have Echo, Mbessa, Shen, Ash, and Karma for the side of U of T. UFA, Amber is going to have Maokai, Oren, Rise, Kea, and Lulu. I don't know about you, but that Rise could be the difference maker here, Dragon. It could be that mystic pick. We could see some different compositions here, and it's a best of one. It's now locked, loaded, and ready to go as we get ready for these players to load into the match, get this match up and going and ready for this early game. League of Legends top 8, University of Toronto versus University of Alberta Amber. So we're going to be going into the match in just shortly a moment. But what are we expecting here? We have those early goals in place. We have those moments coming through. What are we thinking?
I'm thinking this can go either way, because a lot of these champions, for me personally, this is a first I'm seeing them in combat in my league casting in my league casting experience. So in regards to this, I wish I had popcorn with me, because this is going to be very fun to see exactly where, because like Chad's saying, like Mbessa on support would be fairly wild. So if that's the case, maybe that's a wild play, but wherever Mbessa's role is going to be, I know enough, a little bit about her to know that if built properly, she can be a problem just as much as the rest of these champions on this roster. So I am very excited to see all of these champions dish out for me personally for the first time.
Could we see some type of hard count? Like, do you think that's going to be too hard of a counter in this case scenario? Can they come back if it's too far into the game, or are we going to see a dominant performance coming from the side of U of T?
There is always a potential for a comeback. I have witnessed games where you feel like that one team is absolutely steamrolling the other, but one mistake costs them everything. So it's going to come down to the moment that you mess up even once, You're done.
Yeah, it's gonna be coming. It's gonna come very, very interesting. We're already gonna see them setting up at the camps here. We have Justin peering, looking at full clear, suspected, already blocking the lane. They're just gonna try to poke and prod for information on this early until the game fully sets up, until those minions fully get out. Camp spawn will hide in the grass for a little bit, just chill for the time being, seeing if they can at least accommodate for what's going on. They know they have the information that they are on that top jungle side, but can they utilize what they need to do? They're going to spread out. You're talking about split lanes here in a second. Are we going to see that, or are they going to try to see what they can utilize? Bok Choy, are they going to make that first instigation? Nice touch, good stagger. Going to try to get that first initiation going. A couple damage already. Minions starting to form off, starting to push the line. This is where the heat starts to get going. Mid lane's going to start to engage just a little bit there. We're going to take a look at bot lane here, see what's going on. Has the ADS ready with the supports, seeing what they are going to go for. They have information. They have that ward up and available. Have the information gathering. Mid's trying to clear those minions. We already have instigation on top lane. First contact. Violent's going to try to make something. Misses their ability just a little bit. But they are going to get that response back. Damage done as the minions clear. Can they go from here?
They definitely can. As we go in, this is only 2 minutes, like around just the start game. So currently, right now, it is going to be minor skirmishing. We might see a potential first blood in the top lane, as that's where a lot of damage is being done right now. But right now, it's just a lot of hit and runs. Already a good hit from Alberta onto Toronto, as Toronto's jungler takes up those chickens, just getting rid of them right now. Rooted on the mid lane, that's a really bad strike, but very risky for the side of Alberta, especially if they just try and attack them underneath the tower. Bottom lane, this is very, like, that is very by-the-book play for bottom. It's just hit and run, couple tags there, just farming the minions, getting some gold. But in the top lane, this is what you also want to see. You want to see just minions being taken out and then skirmishes every now and then.
Ooh,
Toronto in the mid, not looking good.
close.
They might get it, and first blood goes to University of Alberta in the
Bok
mid
Choy.
lane.
You already saw him getting aggressive in that mid lane, taking damage. We're going to see the top lane instigation go as well. Does able to get a little bit of tick damage with that flame breath. That mid lane, Bok Choy getting the first kill. That's huge in the mid lane case scenario. And they have to finalize what they need to go from here, because they have that first kill now. They made the first contact and aggression. They were already reading to what was going on. They will go back to spawn to see if they can get some item up and going, while top lane starts their instigation once again. Bottom lane still going back and forth, clearing those minions as much as they can. Still, UFT have the advantage in this case scenario. On that side, they're going to go for that first jungle flank. Justin looking for it. Know that Praga is needing some help, so they go for the gank. Team-wise, successful jungle attack from the behind. You got to love it. Good coordination from the team. That's what you want to see. And we're already going to see full clear trying to take advantage of this camp. They will be able to successfully grab that. And now, mid lane starting to suffer a little bit again.
Just a little bit. I will say that top lane skirmish could have gone differently. Very risky to attack a champion underneath their tower. But they did have enough health, and it was clean. But if one thing changed, that Toronto's top laner could have been taken out. But luckily the jungler was there, and that's what you want your jungler to do. You want them on those sidelines, being able to support if something like that happens. And already the skirmish in the mid lane, once again, looking more in favor of Alberta, but a good tag from Toronto in the hollow. Strikes Bok Choy, but is it enough to get a kill in? The health pool is going down, and then Justin coming in, and once again, the jungler saving their teammate. And the first dragon has spawned. No relation to me, however, unfortunately. But now with dragon spawned in, it's going to come down to a team fight and potential which team has the opportunity to take this first dragon and get a point on the board.
I mean, you gotta give it to UFT. They're doing their job well. Even though they're struggling on the lanes, the jungle, that's their role to help out the lanes that are starting to fall back a little bit. And I told you, it's gonna come down to the jungler in this case scenario. If they have that good jungle, this best of one, there's only one way to make this. They're already up 2 kills. They have the gold advantage as well. Even though they're clearing as much as they can, I haven't seen any action from full clear. I don't know where they're gonna be planning here. They're sitting in that jungle jungle left. But can they follow up? Can they try to support? They need to start making some actions right now because the jungle of UFT is running over the competition.
Yeah, no, honestly, right now, for the side of UFT, that jungler is putting in the work and is doing their job perfectly. This mid lane skirmish is, once again, it's just blow after blow exchange. No one is going after that dragon yet, but actually, Fulcar from University of Alberta is soloing it right now. Really just deciding now, and it looks like, yeah, Alberta, they're falling back and they're going after this dragon, assisting their teammate, and they're just going to go after it. This is risky, but University of Toronto is coming in, and we might see the first team fight of the game. They might steal it too. Sway might be on the table, but no, it does go to Alberta.
Good dedication. Most of the team of Alberta does get dedicated. They will sacrifice their jungler in the case scenario first, though. They will be able to get a kill out of that, but a dragon lost. That's going to be huge for the side of Alberta to be able to retain that now. They go back to their positions. But the jungle, I'm still seeing a lot of work there from the jungler. You see Justin already there coming to support from that left side. Full clear's on half HP, so he goes right there, jumps to help him, and a good slam helps taking that kill. Making sure that Alberta is making these plays, but not getting away unscathed.
Yeah, exactly, and just playing perfectly by the book. And yeah, Alberta losing one of their champions for the case of a Dragon Soul is a good exchange, especially right now with respawn timers being as low as they are at 10 seconds. This is good. That attack, though, from in the mid, Toronto on this lane is not looking good. Someone from their side needs to assist now, because if they keep going like this, Bok Choy is going to shred them.
Yeah, they have the advantage, even with low mana. They have that sweet advantage. They're keeping the pressure, and it's starting to relent on top of that mid lane Hollow, struggling to defend this tower, already almost to a third down of the health. So the rest of the team is going to come try to support him. But no, they get tagged. They read into it. They play the jungle, and the rest of the side of that position tries to help the mid lane. UFT try to do something, but Alberta had an immediate answer right back.
They definitely did. There was no way currently at this point where the jungler from UFT could potentially win a 3-on-1 engagement. They got to build up a little bit more, but also with the Morm right, with Fulcar right there on that Mokai, there's just too much health to handle. However, Toronto is going for those Void Grubs right now. If they manage to get all 3, that'll be a good bonus, and currently these Void Grubs are uncontested. That's one down. The second Soy going, the mid lane skirmish going just as it normally is. Bok Choy and the Hollow just exchanging blow after blow with light tags, and Toronto does manage to pick up the Void Grubs.
You gotta hand it to Bok Choy. He's keeping that pressure, which is allowing the jungle of Alberta to rotate effectively, to be able to get these points, to be able to get what they need to do in the jungle. So they're gonna go all the way to the other side. Bok Choy is gonna join them to help the bot lane that was faltering just a little bit, and they clear. But they take care of business to see if they can get more progress on the tower. They disappear. A good retreat. Saving the lives of Play Stalbo.
Solid.
You have to give it to them. Uh-oh. Some instances on top lane. Retreat. The jungle attacks. Gets and strikes again.
And then Pragma, the top lane, manages to get that kill in the top with the assistance from the jungler. And that is now a 5-1 kill. The Hollow getting a strong hit on the Bok Choy, finally turning the tide in this mid lane skirmish to go a little bit more into their favor. And then, especially in the bot lane, we are seeing some light skirmishing in the bottom lane, but it looks like both teams have to recall just a little bit, especially Toronto, and this will give Alberta time to set up a good defense or maybe push the front line to go into that tower. But yeah, we gotta look at this. You see, they're ready. They go in. They get struck. The health pool goes down, and then it's like, wait, one goes down. They're killed. Fall back, fall back, fall back. One barely makes it out, and boom, teleported to safety after losing one of their comrades.
That's just good tactics. They're down 4 kills from 5-1. That top lane is just hurting way too much as well. They're not getting consistent value at all. So how can they recover from this? How can they come back? I told you how important that jungle is going to be, and they're making it and proving my point right. And already a huge attack from Pragma, getting that damage in. Violence trying to figure out a way out of here. Tower already 2/3 of the health down. They gotta pick it up from here. They gotta have support from their jungle, but I haven't seen any of that presence from Alberta at all.
No, because right now it might not look like it, but these kills that Toronto's been picking up have been expending a lot of resources. Alberta is playing the long game. They might be getting casualties a lot more, unfortunately, but Toronto needs to expend so much resources just to cripple them sometimes. So it's mainly a game of resource playing, and right now Toronto is going after this dragon or chipping it away, but Alberta is waiting in the sidelines. They might have a chance to steal it, or they're just going to say, nope, we're going to take it. And
nope,
that is the second dragon going to Toronto.
No attempt yet. They're going to try to continue on. Toronto looking okay for the first side, the first time. Can they recover from here? Will they be able to actually understand what they need to do? I don't know. I don't think so. But will
Currently they? Well, there's still like a decent like 2k gold lead in favor of Toronto, 21.7 to 19.2k.
Oh, here comes Bok Choy.
But here we go.
The full team push.
One down from Toronto.
I told you before, no jungle presence. They've been dedicating to pull. It's a lot of resources. They say they're going to be able to clear up the bottom lane, but that's a lot of resources, and Bok Choy's life almost gone from that case scenario. The top lane starting to suffer even more. Tower health on that last bar, basically. Pragma has so much health to deal with it as well. They're going to utilize the time that Alberta has to clear the minions to disable the amount of DPS going to the tower, so they take the time to get a couple hits in.
I'm going to be honest, I don't know why Alberta didn't decide to go for the tower in the bot lane. They took out the 2 defending champions. There was 4 of them. They could have destroyed that tower even if it was at the cost of one of them. I don't know why they didn't commit to it fully.
I have no idea why. Those are questions that we'll hopefully have to answer as Full Clear goes for the flank but gets met with Justin Trudeau. How can they come from here? He gets rooted on that case scenario. Big ability coming through as well. They will try to take care of business. It's low, but the whole team of Alberta gets called. A good call from the side of Alberta to take care of business. The late game starting to pay off as they cleared that top lane that they were struggling so much with. Hollow and Water come to support back, but they have full clear coming from the behind. Needs to try to find some safe position to be able to channel their way out.
And it's a 2v4 situation right now, but they do manage to at least make them fall back just a little bit and secure that tower from not falling. And in the bot lane right now, it is just Rocks holding off on their own on that Ashe as the rest of the team recalls and goes back to their original positions. But once again, it was very, very stalemated. There was an advantage. Alberta could have committed on it, but they decided to fall back the moment Toronto had even numbers against them. I'm wondering why the even fallback is the strategy here. But Rift Herald has spawned, so if one team manages to grab that, that can be a game changer, especially to take out these early towers.
Yeah, they're 5-5, 25.5 to 24.25 now. They're doing good on the goal economy. UFT trying to take advantage of the camps as much as they can. But now they have to be wary. There is a bit of flanks coming from the side of the University of Alberta. But they have to figure out what they need to do in order to understand the forward method from here, the plan method from
Toronto's
here.
doing something because they just took out the Rift Herald and the top lane tower. Toronto is pushing their advantage and pushing their assault now.
You got to give them. They had that advantage. They had that advantage, and they're gonna get the bottom. They're gonna get the bottom tower as well. Top tower is still alive.
And Toronto is summoning their Rift Herald, and that slams right into the mid lane tower, and that's another tower down on the side of University of Alberta. Toronto is slowly pushing this front line.
Oh, couple shots missed.
We might see a team fight in the mid.
We're gonna see the 3v4. They have the man advantage. Yo comes in, tries to lock it down, but they have the rest of the players there. Place tries to escape free, can't find any instigation yet. Gets pulled, is Violent Chill rooted, no ability to get out. They're doing as much damage as they can. They will be able to clear one. They're able to get a retaliate back though. Double kill for the side of Alberta. All low HP. They expended a lot of resources for those 2 kills, and they're aware of it.
And the health pool for the side of Toronto coming out of that is not looking good. Alberta definitely took that team fight, and for this team fight, that victory goes to Alberta. Despite losing 2 of their members, Toronto had to retreat with minimal health to their names. So that team fight victory, Alberta.
Yeah, as you said before, they're trying to play that late game. They're trying to play that long game. We're 17 minutes into the game already. We're going to try to see what is going on from here as well. Alright, going for that golem. They're waiting to steal it though. They're waiting patiently.
They're waiting. Something is cooking in the kitchens of both these teams, but it looks like Toronto is going to invade Alberta's jungle. They're taking out those wards. They might be getting ready to go after this next dragon, but Alberta's there waiting. We might see a team fight, a battle for the dragon coming in right now. The engagement starts already. Mana and magic and bullets and arrows are exchanging. The health pool going down. A blue turret, however, does get destroyed. No one's looking in the top lane. Alberta is on their own, but recalls and teleports and shows up, coming out of nowhere.
The whole team is here.
Team. Oh my god. Another kill for the side of Toronto. A kill on the death for Toronto, actually. And another double kill. That is 4 members of Toronto dead and a triple kill on the side for Alberta. And now this dragon is uncontested. And now going to Alberta is another dragon soul.
I'm wondering to see what the advantage is now. They will be able to get the dragon here. It does pay dividends. The game's been paused.
Pause.
Gonna head on to the replay. Gonna head on the replay to see onto this case scenario, see what's going on. But I want to kind of comment back onto that last fight there. They have the dragon there. They utilize to distract it. Good route on from Violent Chill. They're just able to sweep up from here. The late play, I mean, it benefited. Even though they were losing those kills, in the beginning. It was benefiting them entirely. For full kills, just continuously to go through the jungle, going all through, but it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see how they come on through, because if they can continue to do they had the early setup, we're now on mid game. It's starting to get dangerous for UFT because they had they had the jungle presence, but some could say, even though I think JD just needed that jungle presence just a little earlier for Alberta, just to give that edge that they needed, not to leave the top lane or the top lane that kind of backed up. It was really struggle. They had to accommodate it as well after they got the jungler in place. They had the opportunities, but the top lane was still struggling despite all the late game plays. Uh, and it's I don't know. I see UFT being able to struggle, but maybe a little bit of faster pace from Alberta could, or the slow pace from Alberta could indeed sell them in the end as well.
The slow pace from Alberta is working to their favor. What they're doing is they are letting UFT walk into their lines and then just converge. So it's like they're coming in, and then the moment UFT reaches that sweet spot where they want them, they just surround and crush. What UFT needs to do is basically feint that out and bring Alberta to them.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have a disconnect from the Alberta side. The support DQ players are going to be trying to set that up and get it all ready to go. But hearing that everything should be good to go to get right back into the action. So we're going to head in to see all that good and detailed. Pause, unpause now. Going straight back in. 11-7 onto the side of this case scenario now. The gold is still in the favor of Alberta. But again, the conversions is starting to hurt that much more. They have towers down. They have that sweet advantage as well. The bottom lane in the favor. Still in the favor of Alberta. But I feel like, and it's gonna have to happen, this entire case scenario of UFT is going to depend on how they adjust the jungler, because right now he's losing that jungler v jungler battle. He's built up, they have to build, they're doing excellently well, they're able to get these camps. Full Clear is just taking advantage of the space that he has to work with to get this, and he's doing that jungle game pretty well. So what's the response from UFT here?
I think the response from UFT will need to be objective prioritization. The Thoroughbrown Iacon has spawned in, so if UFT can manage to get this, that will be good. But the problem is they'll need all 5 of their members committed to that fight. That is not a fight you can win like on your own or even just 4. That to take out the Iacon, you need your entire team committed. So it's a high risk, high reward play. But they need to start getting more objectives and getting those objective buffs and then utilizing that to push Alberta. Because right now, Alberta has territorial superiority right now. And Toronto needs to counter it or meet it in the middle.
Yeah, they gotta find some aspect to deal with this now, and we're gonna see some instigation as well. A good capture. They knew that they were gonna have to take advantage of them roaming clear, and they do. This is good team play for the side of Alberta. They are gonna call back up. Justin is hurting as well. They will be able to get away with the first kill. Trying to get the second. They're dedicating a lot of utility onto this, but will it pay dividends? Bok Choy yicks the TP in through, and that's good positioning for the side of Alberta. You have to give it to them. They are now using that convergence play that they have. The builds are now built. Now it's just ready for the action. Hollow trying their best to at least find any instigation away from there, but they're all cornered on that side. And now they're going for another camp.
And they're going to try and prioritize this objective too and get that Iacon on the table. I was noticing during that fight too, Alberta was healing each other. They basically were allowing them to get damage done. Just say, yeah, nope, let's drink a Gatorade. I'm back at full health. Let's go again. They just absolutely baited Toronto into that fight. You can see Valentino at low health, and even here, there gets healed again. And then another heal, Bok Choy coming in to save up. And they went from low health to heal. They may have lost one person in that fight, but the rest of the team there was just supporting each other. Insane play by the side of University of Alberta.
Yeah, you gotta give it to them. You gotta give it to them. They had the tacticians, they had the plays set in place, they had everything what they needed to do right then and there. And I completely say they read into their play. They were going to try to go for those camps, but they know that the jungle is late. They know that he is late in that instigation. They are late on what they need to complete with now, and it's going to be very, very unfortunate to see what they can go through now. What can they achieve? Because we're now going to start to be creeping into the late game here. We're going to be trying to see what accommodates now. Can they recover and being able to bail back up? But right now, 10-1 for the Rise. We talked about the Rise before, and it's made such a difference in this match. The uniqueness, the different adaptivity is struggling for UFT right now.
It is, but something's going on in the top lane. UFT made a push, and Pius is going after Violence Chill in the top lane on the road and actually managed to push that line fairly decently up a bit. The middle seeing a 2v2 with 3 picking up on the side. Another dragon being spawned in. I wonder if either team is going to commit to this, but it might be a 4v3 battle for control on who might claim this dragon. But Full Clear decides to tag the dragon and get them out of the nest to go and at least fight a little bit. They're just taking some casual punches, just chipping it away at the health. But now it seems Toronto is falling back and Alberta is going for this dragon. Now they're just going to beat this thing to death. Or Toronto might steal it. We'll see what happens. And no, Alberta manages to get it.
You gotta give it to Alberta. They're getting these dragons secured kills very, very well. They try to go for the stealing, but it's not paying dividends. Violent Chill gonna try to see if he can defend this tower as much as he can, and will attempt to get a kill away from this, but that tower is now gone. This is now a good position for UFT. Why? Because things like this can creep up. You can have that lead, you can have good coordination, but you could really, really creep up and sell. Remember, this is an objective game. This is not all just kill hungry. Even though we're seeing the battle happening in front of us, they're taking advantage of the misposition of UFT here. They will be able to get kills under their belt. Godlike for Bok Choy, 11 kills, 1 death. But will it pay dividends? They will be able to get that bot lane tower. It is objectives. You're trying to make it to the center to get that gem out of the way and complete the match. But I gotta say that now they're trying to change up. They're trying to change up the difference in their tacticians. That push from the top lane could be different. Could play a different role.
It definitely could. And now with Baron on the field now, if Alberta can dedicate to taking it, that will give them a really good opportunity to really storm UFT. But if UFT manages to find a way to grab the Baron, they might be able to turn the tide and bring this around. But Alberta has recalled 2 of their champions. They're now going back out to the front lines as 2 members of Alberta stay on the front line near the bot lane. The concentration, though, I'm very surprised. It looks like UFT are meeting in the middle. They might be going for that Baron, but Alberta is going to beat them to it. And we might see a battle for Baron coming up soon as everyone slowly makes their way to that side of the map. And we might see a battle begin here. Here we go. Next battle.
Good shielding.
You can see
good
Alberta's being
adjustment, but the
Bok
stuns.
Choy, and you shut down.
The stun doesn't work, and it doesn't pay dividends. They take and capitalize on that so well. Gets rooted in the process. Volker tries to support, but now they're going to be going for the Serpent of the Time. They're going to try to see if they can at least complete that. Full Clear is making this aware. They're going to communicate to Alberta that, hey, we can find a position to take this advantage, because if they capture this, it could be huge for UFT here. And it looks like they will be taking it down. Blue turret destroyed for the side. They are taking advantage of all this chaos. Let's take a look at that once again.
You see here that first strike, Bok Choy gets stunned, shredded, does try to heal, gets hit out, but then it's just not enough. Just the overwhelming power from UFT just takes down Bok Choy with nothing to their name.
Yeah, you gotta give it up. You gotta give it up. They're trying their best to see what they can deal with here. Minions respawn goes again, but they have all towers now almost down for this case scenario. They have the advantage here for Alberta, but can they continue it? Can they utilize that position lift pressure Valentino Water Pucks trying to support that mid lane. They know it's been a struggle. Bok Choy is going to try to retaliate back, but they have Valentino now with full clear, and Bok Choy trying to take advantage of all the chaos on bot lane. They defend that tower. Progman's going to come in late, though, and they still have enough time if needed. Water is going to try to see if they can assist, but they just have too much capitalization with that full team clear. They will be able to get that tower, but kills galore go through. They will be able to channel back. But here's the difference maker. They have those positionings here. Can they utilize the pressure, or at least alleviate a little bit from UFT to see what they can achieve with now?
They definitely can. I think Alberta spent a lot of resources on that fight for just 2 people in the bot lane, but it did give UFT enough time to really rethink, okay, they're powerful, we need to figure something out. So I'd be very curious as to what the comms are for both these teams. Alberta is falling back, heading all the way to the mid to recall. You see UFT pushing up the middle right now, and they might try and go after that mid push. The bot lane and jungle go in as well, just trying to get rid of those minions so they don't strike. But I'm really curious as to what UFT's response is going to be, especially with the gold limit and the 9 kill difference.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how they continue on from here. Has now full clear spots out 3 members. Bok Choy's there with them. The full team now at the dragon, trying to see if they can at least alleviate and drag it towards full clear to take advantage of that. They will try to see if they can alleviate that, but they're trying to see if they can go for the steal once again. UFT special. Violent Chill going to try to deny that. Justin goes in, but a good root claims that. They will be able to secure the Drake kill. Bok Choy on a killing spree as they sweep up. Does not pay dividends. They should have paid attention to the members more than the objective, because you can't get the objective if your teammates are dead. Hollow gets spot out with that lane just absolutely on that blue tint. Can they find a position here? 22-10. The gold's still in the favor of Alberta, and they're now going to start attacking these inner towers. It's going to be quite the dividends now. Hollow's reiterating to UFT that they're going to get starting pressure. The moment is going to be starting to pick up now as they have the first tower, that 3rd tower down. They're going to try to go for the gate now. They're getting and completing as much as they can.
On the field.
The minions are on the field. The tick damage is going to be going through. This is what you want. This is a prime position. You just have that first minion spawn, and now the second coming on back to do as much tick damage as they can onto those 2 towers in front of the gem to see what they can achieve with, and they can utilize and topple over. All they have to do is play zone as much as they can, but they have to be aware. Look where Bok Choy is on that top lane. They're trying to make minimal progress while the aggressiveness of the University of Alberta does what they need to do best and just couple over and converge on the position of UFT. But they've still been able to make progress sneakily on that top lane.
Oh yeah, very much so. They've been able to make that little bit of progress, but now Alberta is going in with the rush. One goes down, and the rest of Alberta is coming in. The health being shredded. Bok Choy in the middle takes one, and another goes down on the retreat and the heal. And that is that is 4 members down. A double kill coming in on the side and a triple kill. The entire team of UFT down for the count, and the respawn timers are not looking good. This is Alberta coming in on the assault.
The jungler of Justin Treso is the only one that's going to be able to come back up alive in this case scenario. They're going to utilize this time. That good team clear. Absolutely. Just utilize such a pressure, and we're gonna maybe see a full team win here for the side of Alberta. It's gonna be the case scenario, and you have it there, folks. You have it there, folks. What a game! What a game!
A win for University of Alberta. The moment that team fight went south for Toronto, the respawn time was just not enough. That allowed Alberta to go in, shut it out, take out the inhibitor, take out the 2 towers, and that Nexus was as good as dust.
Yeah, you gotta give it up. You gotta give it up. What just the
Impressive
late
game.
game plays they had. Justin was trying as much as he could with that early game on the jungle, but he had to pay attention to those objectives. He had to pay attention to those camps. Full Clear was just utilizing, trusting his teammates to hold off, even though they were losing those lanes. They were still holding off. Not a lot of progress done until those ganks started to come in from Justin. And then apart from that, they had the positions read. They had the wards in place specifically in Keeley to detect where they were coming from. Good tactics. Good job. Best of one. Gotta say, GG's to UFT, GG's to University of Alberta. What a game. We're going to give a quick shout out to our... Sorry. Guru?
Bok Choy was just absolutely insane on their plays. To go that long with as many kills and only 2 deaths is absolutely insane. Their tank played not surprisingly, just immaculately amazingly.
Yeah, you gotta give it up. You gotta give it up. We're just going to give a quick shout out to our sponsors at BMO. The contest that's going to be happening, exclamation contest, for a chance to win 1 of 5 of $20 digital game of Steam gift cards. And of course, to take a look at your checking and savings assistance, because they have a bunch of studio offers, and you can get additional $125 cash or 6 months of Domino Pizza. Definitely check them out. Exclamation BMO, exclamation contest as well, to see what's going on as well. And of course, definitely to check out their next level Twitch channel with Sean Frame to be able to see all your banking, help all your banking needs, and some of the favorite games he plays. Also, check out Strawberry and Egg to be able to get your local theme plushes of any video game and animes that you could probably see in their database. Instagram at Strawberry and Egg, or exclamation mark Strawberry and Egg in the chat. Really, really good. It's going to be very, very impressive. Also, quick shout out and to Esports Canada to be our sponsors for the CIE, as well with Solaris Esports team based in Vancouver. But for us, that's going to be it for us, folks. A beautiful Team 8. It's going to be very, very well. Thank you, Drag, for coming onto this side. And of course, my name is Ninjix, and we've been here for your top TA casters. Stay tuned, though. We have summies coming live in just a moment, so don't go anywhere. We have some beautiful, beautiful League of Legends gameplay coming real soon. But that's going to be for me, folks. Any last words, Dragon?
Nope, I think you said that perfectly, my friend.
Alrighty. We'll be signing off, and I want to see you in the next stream so soon. Bye-bye.
And welcome back for another game of CIE here. My name is Natural. I'm joined today by T-Van. T-Van, how are you doing? I think T-Van's audio
I got it.
is...
I got it. That's on me. That's on me, guys. I just watched some Immaculate Rise gameplay. I just unmuted my mic in VMix. I'm doing amazing over here at Natural. How are you feeling?
Man, I'm chilling. I'm doing great. I was watching that first game as well. It's got me hyped up. I'm kind of hoping for the Rise to pop up for another game, because that looked fun. I mean, I don't know what happened to Rise. I have not been like keeping up with all of the patches and stuff that's been happening in League for the last month. Did they buff Rise? What's happening?
Yes and no. I think it's also just like a meta thing. So Rise is being played, but not at in the position that we just saw. Just because of Fearless, I feel like the prio mages that we're usually seeing in like T1 is like, you know, Azir, Talia, Ari, sometimes Silas. But there were just barely a really big patch with a bunch of mage items being buffed and being changed. So Proto Belt is really good. Silas is still really good. I feel like the mid meta is going to be very similar to what we've seen previously, just better. But Rise for me, I guess, is a sneak buff because a lot of those mana items like Seraphs and like Roa
Right,
are a
I
lot
saw some
stronger.
row changes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming the Rise presence has been very heavily influenced by like how OP I heard Roa and Seraphs have been recently. But yeah, that Rise looked absolutely insane. That game, it was mana fluxing all over the place. We were joking while we were watching about how that guy does not speak a lick of English.
That's all Mandarin right there.
Yeah,
all
this guy
Mandarin.
uses WeChat, man. Like, yeah, when he texts his parents, it's on WeChat. It's not on Messenger. Obviously, we're joking about that, but the Rise did look very strong. The Xayah was interesting. Obviously, I loved watching Xayah because she's my most played champion. But it was interesting. It was fun. I do believe we've got a best of 3 on our hands here instead of a best of 1, which is exciting. We always like to see some adaptations in draft, and even beyond that, it's Fearless, which is super fun.
Dude, I love Fearless. I'm so glad that Fearless in the winter was so like accepted and beloved by the community that now like Riot was like kind of forced to keep Fearless throughout. And now that we see events like this also taking that and keeping Fearless, I just think the game itself is just so much more alive due to just more strategy, more champions being seen. It's not, okay, I'm going to be watching Azir every single game and falling asleep. It's just, I love it.
I was scared a little bit when they started introducing Fearless into kind of like the competitive stuff. A lot of people were bringing up some pretty good arguments about how, oh no, actually this won't make it like that much more diverse. It'll just be like moving the goalposts or whatever. I think it works great. I don't know. From my perspective, I love Fearless, and I'm so glad that they made the decision to keep it.
I completely agree. I mean, it's super fun, and also I think that Riot is doing a really good job of like making the game just kind of exciting by spicing up just a lot of different changes. Like, I don't know, Natural, if you've been watching recently about the Yorick meta that has been kind of popping up too. Like, we're just seeing Sion first pick and then answered by Yorick, and now Yorick is like this really broken champion that has high prio. Like, sure,
That's fun.
Like those are champions that people probably wouldn't have discovered if it wasn't for Fearless forcing them to play more champions, especially in scrims. You have to think about the scrim meta as well. Like, you wouldn't even think to tell your coach, "Hey, I want to play Yorick in a scrim." By all means on stage, if you weren't forced to like really dig into your pocket of champs, and I'm all here for it. I'm so there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it kind of reminds me of like earlier on into the year, I think we had like a little bit of like a Garen Nasus thing going on where people were like blind picking. Yeah. And people were like blind picking Garen and it was being countered by Nasus or something like that. I don't know, but it was hilarious. But then they nerfed Nasus and now we never see him again. But all of these champions are interesting, I think. I think it is very difficult to keep like some of those champions like Nasus and Yorick like in the balance of things. It feels like either they're just too strong or they're not strong enough. But either way, having like a few moments where these champions are strong is pretty fun. You get to see like some champions that you would have never expected in tier 1. Obviously we're not, we're not the LEC or the LTA or whatever, but we're still very excited to see a wide variety of champions forced by this new structure of Fearless Draft best of 3. I do think that we're ready to introduce some of the team members, so let's go on ahead and with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see these rosters because, like you said, this is not tier 1. This is, closer to this collegiate, more tier 2, tier 3, and so Fearless is going to be even more exciting as we're looking at these names. Zeklos, Raven, Wasp, Define, Zeus. Not the Zeus that we're thinking of that betrayed a lot of people's hearts. It's a different Zeus. But I feel like, players in this area and region are also going to be a little bit more exciting and make Fearless a little bit more exciting because they're not going to, they have different champ pools compared to the pro players, right? And so we're going to probably be seeing even crazier picks. I mean, we saw just barely in that best of 1 Echo Jungle first pick, which is not on my bingo board personally. It might have been on yours, Natural, but for me, was not expecting that at all.
Yeah, I think I've watched I forgot his IGN, but I've watched him play before, and he does do the Echo quite a little bit in these games. But regardless, yeah, this is our team that we have for Lancer Gaming here. I'm not quite sure what side they are on as far as draft is concerned. They are on blue side. Okay, I've been told. So Lancer Gaming is going to be on the blue side here, and their opponents are going to be in this best of 3 U of A Amber. That's the University of Alberta, I believe. Yes, University of Alberta Amber. Just had a little bit of a brain fart there, but yes,
no worries.
That is right. So we've got Violet Chill here, Full Clear, Bok Choy, Place Talbo, and Valdania. So that was the team that was playing last game on the stream. So we had Full Clear there. He was on the Maokai that time. Bok Choy was on that Rise. And Place Talbo, if it is the same amount of carry, was on the Zaya. Some pretty fun champions as you see here, and some pretty interesting teams as well. And I'm very excited to see how they're going to interact. And I was looking at kind of the champions that they play here. I assume those are, I'm not sure when it comes to production. Are these like their actual mains or just random champions? Okay. We've been told they just like these champions. Okay. Well, yeah. Whether they like their champions is great. Whether they will play them or not is we'll have yet to see.
I don't know, man. I'm really feeling the Zed top. Like I'm really feeling that pick. It's just like calling to me seeing Violent Chill hover that. You know what I mean?
Ooh, such an edgy IGN too. Violent Chill. Sure. That's good.
I mean, if I see Violent Chill has drawn first blood and he's playing Zed top, like I know it's over. Like that man's he's actually carrying. You know what I mean?
It's over.
Same
What
with
about
Bok Choy.
what about the Fiddlesticks?
No. Rise, bro. Oh yeah, full clear
I
Fiddlesticks.
raised the counter argument. Full clear Fiddlesticks gets first blood. I think I FF at that point.
I'm actually on TikTok the rest of the game. Like I'm tapped out. I think I've got Ruined Light on my second monitor, and that actually goes to my first monitor if that happens, for sure.
Absolutely. Okay, well, let's hope that none of that happens. And then we get some 2 very invested teams. Yeah, I think we are ready to get into the draft. So let's get absolutely. No. Okay, never mind. Okay, yeah, we need some time. Never mind. But we can keep yapping. We can keep yapping. We can keep yapping. That's my fault. Listen, it's been a while since I've casted. The last time I casted was actually for UFT Esports about a month ago, I want to say. But yeah, it went well, and it was a fun time. But it's been a while since I've casted like an actual tournament and stuff, and I'm very excited for CIE. I've casted last year CIE, but I didn't have that much time. What's the last thing you casted, Tyler?
I mean, League was the last time I casted League was with you. I think a couple months ago for what we saw the downfall of BC. No, I did a local tournament for like after that, but it was like it was something for sure. I watched York AD carry at one point. It was great to color. But before that, I mean, I casted like. What day is today? Wednesday? I casted 3 days ago for Siege, because that's what I do usually. But I prefer this game very much. I don't even play Siege. I just cast it somehow. So Natural, I'm very glad to be playing. I actually do. Back when I first got the first couple gigs, I didn't. And I had to just learn by watching, and then I got into it because a couple of friends. But I'm not the biggest fan of like all the names that I get called in that game. So,
Oh.
because like you hear like their voice say it, like they don't care. They really don't care. Like you think League players are bad, but then you play an FPS and you're like talking to a dad in Alabama, like after his 9 to 5, and then you learn a lot of vocabulary.
I can imagine, yeah.
But here it's a safe space.
League of Legends is very famously a safe space.
Safe, yeah. Sure.
With no toxicity whatsoever.
None. Thank God.
We
can
have
go to
draft ready.
now.
We don't have to keep yapping for much longer.
We're starting to bring up slurs. That's how you know we
gotta switch it up. We gotta go next. Yeah. Okay, let's get into the draft. Whew, man, this is gonna be an adventure. Okay, but regardless, it's Lancer Gaming as we mentioned on blue side, and U of A Amber on the red side. Looks like we're not getting the Fiddlesticks, unfortunately.
Dude, I would be
they're
terrified
crushing
of it,
our
bro.
dreams.
I mean, look, man, he was full cleric on Maokai. Imagine what he'd be doing on Fiddlesticks. Like,
That's what I'm saying.
Man. Ugh. Well, okay, I will say though, I don't know how familiar you are with this current meta pick that has happened for like 2 patches, but
Nafiri?
Fiddlesticks support has also been
Oh,
a very
never
big
mind.
thing. So it is kind of a double hit. Fiddlestick support is something that is being played later in Fearless drafts once all the engaged supports are out, like Leon Orkan, Maokai, or not Maokai, Nautilus. There's one more I'm missing, Rel. Once all those champions are out, then Fiddlesticks is kind of the next pick. And if their support is playing a lot of Fiddlesticks, then like get that out because it is really annoying to face. So,
Yeah.
you know, 2 birds with 1 stone. Or two birds with 1 scarecrow.
We got there eventually. I could feel it cooking, and it was like there was something there. And honestly, you got there faster than I thought it would be. We've got Ezreal and Wukong being banned here from Lancer Gaming, and then we've got U of A Amber here banning out the Orianna. Pretty standard bans as far as I can tell. They are like kind of specific towards what the champions that they are playing. Obviously, the Fiddlestick that we mentioned earlier, as well as the Viego, I believe, was very targeted towards Lancer Gaming. Lancer Gaming is considering the Xin Zhao here as the B1, which is a champion that I've seen a lot in the last few patches. Seems like the champ is just really strong.
He's so good. He's easily like the best jungler on the patch right now. Like really, I would say consistently like the B1 right now, especially in compared to T1. I would say the only other B1 that you're contesting with Xin Zhao is things like Varus. But other than that, it's just Xin Zhao. He's so strong. Usually you match a Xin Zhao with things like maybe a Viego, a Wukong, but it seems Amber loves this Maokai. They played it last game. They're looking to play it again. I do agree. I do like the Maokai, especially if you're going to pair it with some champs that like that kind of setup. Things like potentially an Ahri, if you want to play that. Misfortune is really good. I'm a little worried about Misfortune early on because like she doesn't
Braum
really
is
like facing a
open.
Xin Zhao, and Braum is open. There's a lot of things that can counter MF, but if you can get a Rel on 3, then you're chilling.
Well, there we go.
Well, no more Rel on 3. That's going to be impossible to play.
By the way, the draft already happened, so it's not like the team's gonna be listening. They're not cheating. It's just when you see an opponent pick a F, you might as well lock in Braum.
Wait, Nacho,
It's just
how
a
do you
thing that
cheat in a
happens.
draft? Like hearing us and our opinion?
Man, I don't know. Yeah,
You
I
think
guess.
that like they're like listening like okay, what do those casters have to
I
say
wonder
about
what
our draft?
casters
How
think
much
about our
should we pick on
drafts.
3? Let's ask T-Man. Let's ask Natural. What's on
I'm
3?
sure T-Man and Natural know
What's
better
our
than
best
we
in
do.
slot on 3?
Anyways, I don't know. Anyways, regardless of that, it's gonna be Syndra here being picked for Lancer Gaming on B3. So far, I mean, they've got like a little bit of spread of damage. They've got some front line. They've got a lot of peel. Feels like their Lancer Gaming is kind of picking very safe. They're not really like showing their cards too much. U of A Amber here on the other hand side, they're considering the Ambessa. Now, Ambessa Maokai is like a combo that I've seen before, and it seems to work relatively well. You know, it's like a very first target type thing. Am I getting that right?
Yeah, it's like it's kind of similar to when Ambessa was first prevalent and Vi was really meta. It's kind of like point and click CC and then Ambessa ult on that point and click CC and just one shot that target. I mean, the name of that ultimate for Ambessa is public execution for a reason. It's crazy that that's still the name of it, but I think it's gonna be very similar, especially with Misfortune as well. Mbessa just gives a lot of space for that Misfortune and just allows to like kind of go in and out of that front line, like you were saying, and beating up things like Xin Zhao and Braum. I would say that I'm still a little afraid of that core of Xin Zhao, Braum, and Syndra, especially if you're playing a champ like Mbessa. If you don't have a really huge lead, Syndra can just push you away. Braum and Xin Zhao are just gonna beat you up, and there's not a lot that you can really do about that.
Yeah, it's a difficult comp to dive when you've got something like the Syndra E, the Braum Shield. I mean, even the Xin Zhao is like relatively difficult to dive, right? You've got the 3-point strike and whatnot. That is pretty effective peeling tools. So Lancer Gaming here, realizing that it feels like UFA Amber are putting all of their cards on the kind of dive as hard as possible, as often as possible side of the table. They're going to be taking away the Ornn, which was also played in their last game for U of A Amber. So we're kind of assuming that that's also like from what they've seen. They're like, okay, we don't want to deal with this. U of A Amber, on the other hand side, they're going to ban away the Olaf and the Jinx. What it looks like to the bot side of the map, what do you think? What kind of AD carries do you think Lancer Gamer are looking towards?
Yeah, I mean, like, my first instinct was to say something like Jhin. I feel like Jhin is really good here, but it is awkward with Maokai being on the board. I feel like you have a lot of options. I do like that Rakan pickup, too, because that also, I mean, Rakan into Braum, that's, like, one of the best case scenarios of having a kind of an engaged support, but also something that can survive against Braum. But I was going to say Ashe Braum is something that you're really going to be terrified of. I would have preferred banning something like Ashe over Jinx, to be honest, because, like, I feel like Ashe doesn't really have a lot of danger other than, like we were saying, that Mbessa combo. But when you've got Braum Xin Zhao, like Ashe, especially if the Ashe's name is like Ruler, he's going to be gliding. The Volibear pick as well is actually a fun pick because they were assuming that Mbessa was going to go top. And Volibear is like kind of this new famous counter to Mbessa through the Baus. He's kind of started this trend that Volibear just murders Mbessa, and it's true.
Oh, okay.
You just beat her up. But Rumble being the last pick is showing that Mbessa might be playing mid and Rumble going top, which is quite exciting to me. You know, I do love me some Rumble, even though I've been seeing Rumble for the past 6 months. Natural. Love him.
I love Rumble. Love Rumble. We are ready to get into game. The magic of production here.
Wow.
Is insane. And look at that 3D camera.
Oh my god.
The POV, you're on Summer's Rift.
The Spirit Blossom Summer's Rift too. It's beautiful out here. Vacation. I don't need a 6-month fishing trip 2 times a year. I need a 6-month vacation to the Spirit Blossom event map. I'm not going to Florida. Are you crazy? I'm going to Ionia. Bolt Ionia. Some fresh salmon in the river, especially, dude. I actually don't know if I told you, but me and Jax are actually hitting the river together. He's going to teach me how to fish.
Oh, let's go.
He said that I can get maybe a plus 10 gold fish soon if I really work on it. So really excited for that. Something I'm also really excited for is watching how this this mid lane matchup goes, because
what a segue.
because Mbessa, I don't think can really survive into Syndra. Especially because Syndra's gonna have Xin Zhao in her pocket this whole game. Like, this Mbessa is gonna be like a lot of free kills for Lancer, and I feel like that's gonna be the really volatile point. And if Xin Zhao gets really ahead of this game, I think UFA Amber have a really big problem dealing with the jungler of Lancer Gaming.
Lancer Gaming here, they're gonna look for. They're grouped up just a little bit to get some vision, but nothing is gonna come out of that early game so far, that level 1 play. It looks like both mid laners are just going to put down wards on the Raptors here to figure out where the junglers are pathing. Very common at this point in time for teams to do this. As you said, I mean, it definitely feels like in this matchup, the Syndra should...
Oh my god.
Okay, well...
I guess he just does half her HP in one ability.
Yeah,
wow.
I don't know if I got it wrong or that was just a skill issue on the part of the Syndra, but however, anyways, we were expecting Syndra to do relatively well in this lane as time goes on, especially. Well, as I say that, the trades are just kind of brutal here for the Syndra so far. Both junglers seem to be opting towards towards the bottom side, and I mean, looking at Lancer's gaming 3v3, this to me screams winning.
Yeah, I don't really know what point of U of A has prio in this game. I think maybe playing around like Rumble Maokai, but also I feel like Volibear is just going to be able to have Merc Treads really early. The Merc Tread value for Lancer Gaming, especially in the top side, is really strong. Maokai Rumble just doesn't really scream to me like I'm going to win grubs, especially when the other two are Volibear Xin. I feel like U of A really need to get to a point of scaling where MF has a couple items, and then Maokai can really poke down Lancer Gaming with some saplings, because that is kind of a point of issue that I do see natural, is Lancer Gaming doesn't really have that really solid engage to go in. You know, they have an Ash Arrow, and then they have maybe Xin Wind Becomes Lightning somehow connecting onto an MF, but other than that, it seems really telegraphed and a little awkward to play.
Yeah, the go buttons aren't as easy as something like an Ornhorn or Nautilus Hook or something like that. But they do exist. As Bokcho here, again, taking very heavy trades against Wafts. This time, Full Clear is here. He has access to the Flash. It's going to be a Flash for Flash. Flash is going to follow through the turret. That's a nice E there from Wafts. He will survive. However, he's going to lose his Flash and all of his hit points. He's most likely going to have to teleport back into lane.
Yeah, I mean, good Flash to get away from that route, because that would have been a for sure kill. I got a little scared for Full Clear. I thought he was going to die if Syndra hit a full combo, but actually the combo is going to the Maokai as Raven wants some blood.
He doesn't have the Flash anymore. We'll retrade in here. As now it's Bokchoy who's low on HP, so it's just gonna be his turn to recall and teleport towards the lane. So all in all, very even trade here. It's not really nothing ever happens is kind of the name of the game here. Though I will say Wafts not having access to his Flash means a pretty easy follow-up gank here potentially on the level 6 of the Mbessa, especially.
Yeah, I was gonna say, especially if they're gonna be going for something like grubs that are gonna be spawning here soon, or dragon, the Syndra is gonna be a really big point of contention. Something I will say though, the little victory that Lancer gets at the end of the day. I actually didn't get it. I was gonna say Raven could have gotten the double scuttle. He did skip red buff to be able to play that counter gank. That's why he was level 3. Oh my god, it's a trade.
Volibear's doing a lot of damage here. Violent Chill. He's gonna flash. Zeklos on the Volibear doesn't have his.
Look at the wave though. This is brutal.
This wave state is atrocious. Full Clear is here to try and help out his top laner. Raven should be called here. I think Zeklos is most likely calling for his own jungler. They have vision on Full Clear, so they know that he's here.
Oh, that is some unfortunate timing.
Completely misses. Yeah, the unfortunate part about that is that it's not like Full Clear knows that he's there. He doesn't. So that was just a random timing there for him to move. That's like kind of reminiscent of like if you're playing an FPS and randomly the enemy just moves when you headshot them.
Yeah.
Very sad.
Yeah, I mean, that is a lot of time wasted for Full Clear, and Raven didn't really waste that much time as he was just barely going there off his reset. So that does allow Raven to actually be on the same tempo as Full Clear. I will say, though, at this point, Maokai does clear camps a little bit faster than Raven, as we see. Full Clear is already onto his third camp.
And there's going in, public execution. That's it. Very easy.
And Dash is 15 times away. But bot lane.
Divine here. Had to use the heal as well as the barrier on the side of Lancer Gaming. They were taken out very low. But the MF doesn't have that much mana anymore. So it definitely feels like a little bit of a stalemate there. But still an advantage here for U of A Amber in a lane that we weren't expecting it. Violent Chill here. He's going to get teleported on. Kaz X the ultimate. I'm kind of expecting him to just... Yeah, ult the wave. Walk away. He has a cannon as well. Easy peasy.
I mean, Rumble is a really interactive champion. If you're losing, you're about to get dove. Anything about to go bad, you just ult the wave. Zeus is trying to hold the wave here, which doesn't seem possible, but I guess it is. But that does give them timing to play for this dragon natural. It feels a little awkward. I think that U of A can play for this dragon really easily, but both Define and Play Stalbo really need a reset. I mean, both bot lanes still just on the D-Blade. A Cookie in the MF's pocket, and that's the only difference.
Raven might be looking for a play here. U of A Amber, they have all of their summoners. When Becomes Lighting is going to hit, while Daniel is just going to use all of his abilities to dash out. Meanwhile, Full Clear is on the dragon, but now with no prio over this bot lane, Raven could just walk over to this dragon and contest it. He's going to be waiting inside the bush now. They should see the dragon going down. Valdano, though, very low. The heal is going to be used. He still has access to the flash. So Lancer Gaming are not going to do anything about that. They're kind of just like doing nothing here. We're just doing a bunch of cardio, throwing out spells at U of A Amber. Meanwhile, they're taking Dragon. So I think U of A Amber are going to be perfectly happy with this.
Really awkward situation from both teams. They both were trying to contest bot and dragon at the same time. I thought that Lancer Gaming was going to do a great punish of U of A's bot lane because full clear didn't help them crash that wave, and so bot lane was kind of stuck like, hey, I can help with dragon, but it's going to really destroy our tempo. We need to break this freeze and then go dragon. I've had so many solo queue games where that happens and then we lose the lane because of that exact interaction. And I thought I was seeing it again, but somehow they're able to survive multiple times. Raven couldn't quite connect fully with Zeus, and so they're able to live and actually break the freeze as well. So like you said, U of A feeling really happy about that, getting an early dragon, starting that scaling, or giving themselves some time to scale. And also, I mean, the soul is probably going to be pretty nice in their pocket if they can get to it.
Bokchoy taking a lot of damage there in the mid lane. He played a little bit too far forward into the lane and got punished by the Braum. Either way, West is in a pretty decent state. Grubs haven't started here from Lancer Gaming. Wafs and Zeus here, they're kind of considering what to do. Raven is probably going to be able to take that first grub, no problem. Will U of A Amber actually contest this? I mean, they're looking for it.
They should.
Maokai ult flash while Daniel is now looking onto Wafs. That's a beautiful E though from Wafs, and now it's a 3v3. Both teams kind of disengaging here. Wind becomes lighting, again, not hitting. Just a little bit of damage going back and forth. It's kind of a stalemate. Both teams are playing very precautiously here.
Yeah. It's really awkward because Bok Choy used his ulti earlier. That's why he was chunked. He was hard trading into WAF to get mid-prio, but they're going to continue to contest as it's a 3v3 topside.
It's a nice ground entrance here. The Volibear ultimate is going to be used. They're focusing down the Rumble. Violent Chill should go down. First kill here for Lancer Gaming going over towards the Volibear, and U of A Amber are just going to let go of the grubs.
I mean, naturally, we talked about this in the pregame, right? The 3v3 topside is just deadly, and it might be even deadlier bot. Oh my god. I thought he was just going to die. But like I said, like, you pick your poison. You're playing Volibear Zinzao Braum versus Rumble Maokai Rakan. Like, one has a lot of damage and loves to fight, especially early, doesn't really need a lot of items, and the other is Rumble Maokai Rakan. They have their Faded Ashes. Sure, that's going to do a little bit of damage in lane, but, like, you need more items. You need more time to poke. Full clear, you know, he wants just to play around saplings and Q poke. He needs someone in front of him to deal more consistent damage, and for U of A, that's Bok Choy. But they keep playing away from him, or maybe it's a miscommunication in comms. Bok Choy isn't really rotating to some of these plays. He didn't rotate to that dragon play earlier. He didn't rotate to the Void Grub player there. It just doesn't feel like he's on the right page, and maybe they don't really understand that Bok Choy is kind of the key to U of A's success in this early game.
Yeah, and to find they're fighting Playstalbo in the bot lane in the meantime. I feel like there was an opportunity there for Define to use his ultimate and at least get Playstalbo's flash. I wasn't sure why he didn't use it in the early exchange, but regardless. Raven here might be looking for a play. It's a very careful and measured early game that we're seeing from both of these teams so far. Define doesn't have access to the ultimate quite yet, so the engage here is just kind of weak, especially when you're playing into something like a Rakan MF. So much movement speed, so much ability to get out of these situations, and that's kind of what you get punished for when you're picking a Braum. It's just your inability to really make plays on your own. It's kind of brutal.
It's kind of one of those things of like, oh my god, Zeus is just giving away the gank so many times. It's 2 times in a row, Wing to someone there too. Yeah. I mean, it's like you have access, you're able to get push as Braum, and you're actually able to play really aggressive because of how strong you are, especially with an Ashe. But you kind of need to translate that. Yeah, you're most likely not going to be able to get a kill, but you can get push, which means you can invade a Gromp, you can get early dragons, things like that, but they haven't really been able to unlock themselves bot lane. They've got a decently substantial lead in CS, about a 20 CS lead once Ashe collects this wave that's crashing into the tower. But other than that, not a lot gained, and in my opinion, Rakan's going to scale better.
Fight here. He actually doesn't have the shield here, so he's going to have to use the ultimate as well as the healer to survive. The E was on cooldown from the previous interaction, but U of A Amber, they have control over this lane, in a lane which feels like should be winning for Lancer Gaming.
I mean, really well played there from Valadino. A great little combo to keep them in the spray of bullets. But on that reset, Defiant's going to be able to get his Untile.
Oh my god.
Yeah, chill damage. Oh my god, the flash from Raven narrowly saves his life, but that's no jungler for this dragon that just barely spawned. And I mean, plus Salvo has Bloodthirster as well. It feels like U of A are really strong on this dragon contest. Just look at the items. Spike onto Ambessa, spike on MF, and the Leandry spike for Maokai here.
First items have been unlocked here for U of A Amber, and with that gank from Raven that didn't really go as well as he wanted to. Should be a relatively easy dragon for U of A Amber. Raven is considering the steal here, but I don't think this is a very wise choice. When it becomes lightning hits, the Ash Arrow is found onto the Maokai. He's going to be able to smite it regardless. It's a 3v4, remember. U of A Amber have the full advantage. Bok Choy will be taking the first kill onto Raven. Define is still healthy, though. He still has access to the flash as well. One Braum stack onto the Ambessa. That's a nice stun onto the MF. The cleanse is going to be used.
Braum stack.
Oh, we're flashing in.
God.
Define is going to be able to find at least one kill in return, but it's the Braum that dies in the process, so it's still not really that worth it for Lancer Gaming.
Okay, but hear me out, Natural. The fact that both teams now have 3 kills, but Full Clear going for that kill, confirming their own feats, now they get the boot upgrade. Maybe it's worth. I mean, to me personally, that's what I'm going to tell myself to make sure that that death was worth it. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I got the boot upgrade. We're chilling. In my actual opinion, I feel like the boot upgrades are really useless, but, you know, you got to give yourself a little bit of copium. But, yeah, I feel like that is the strength. Oh.
Violent chill here, though. He's taking down very low. His ability just came back from the cooldown. Zeculos will be able to shield. Oh, it's so close.
That's awkward.
No flashes available, and both of them were just going to walk it away.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Like ships in the night almost. Just like, all right. Or, you know, a little agreement. Hey,
if there's ships in the night, Full Clear and Raven here are the icebergs waiting for the Titanic. Zeculos is looking for the kill. He's going to be able to find the shield. Raven, he doesn't have flash. The wind becomes lightning. Finally hits. It's a 1-for-1. Full Clear and Raven are now in a 1v1 situation.
I think Full Clear's
lock up.
Oh, the dodge.
Might be able to win this with Leandry's, as you said. Nice dodge. The wind becomes lightning. The reset, though. Public execution out of nowhere. From left field, Bok Choy saves the play and takes the kill.
Randy Orton from downtown on the route of Maokai, swinging in, saving his tree from the forest killer, maybe. I don't know where I was going with that one, but a great play. Finally, Bok Choy using his prio and also realizing that he is kind of this stone that is keeping them in this early game. Great roam there, and he also is going to be able to take over top and get quite a lot of damage going. I mean, just look at the level lead. A full level up onto the Syndra. The items are going to be huge. He has the Merc Treads as well. This Ambessa is really the point that we're going to need to be watching. And then once Rumble and Maokai start getting 2-3 items, and maybe MF as well, then the Ambessa starts to fall off. This is what I like to call a bridge. You know, the bridge from the early game to late game. Allow these scalers to get into the game and be able to, you know, have their champions be useful. We're seeing that
quite well. Win this. Valdano is going to be...
God.
Yeah, he's going to try to get out with the W, but it's too little too late. I was watching this lane play out, and I was like, I'm pretty sure Define could just ult the first person and kill them. So that's what's going to happen. Sorry to interrupt you, Tyler.
No, that is a really great point, and I'm actually really surprised that the Rakan actually isn't taking Merc Treads this game as, yeah, like you said, an Ash Arrow into Braum stun, into Volibear stun, into Syndra stun. You know, Rakan, the way that he can play this game and navigate this game is being able to maybe absorb a little CC and be able to fall away, engage, and then post-engage.
Execution is going to be used on Wops here. God, a lot of damage from the combo. Bok Choy, he's just going to one-tap her. No flash even needed. As Raven now in a 1v3 situation, he's not going to be able to get out of this one. The Grand Entrance locks that kill down. It's a double kill for the Ambessa, and this Ambessa mid has absolutely demolished anyone in her path. Very much looking like the Ambessa from Arcane here. As Zeculos now, he's a little bit scared of the situation, but he should be able to walk it out.
Yeah, I feel like Lancer Gaming has kind of lost the sauce. They've lost the plot. They don't have any win condition now. I mean, like, just beautiful ult. Just, I mean, didn't even have any setup. Just lands it. The flash away from Wafts too, but Ambessa has way too many dashes to get away. And Raven, yeah, you're playing around mid, but mid is really the play that you need to be making. Your top laner is kind of the only place that is winning. But
Zeculos here, 1v2. He's against the Rumble and the Maokai here. The ultimate was already used. He doesn't have access to the flash. That's a lot of healing from the bike, though.
Oh my god.
And the equalizer should be able to lock it down, though. And that's another kill going over to U of A Amber. Define now in a little bit of a sticky situation. He's going to be looking for the trade kill, but Playstall this time does have access to the cleanse. This time it's not going to work out. And as you said, it feels like Lancer Gaming are getting a little bit lost in the sauce.
Yeah, they have no idea where to play now. Xin Zhao has been a little bit homeless, and I mean, he's losing his camp lead that he kind of developed early game. He's behind in camps now. He's behind in just everywhere. And what was the win condition of maybe top, Volibear was getting 2 solo kills, now is gone with the amount of time that Full Clear has been spending topside. I don't really know how they're going to get themselves back into this game. It really feels like maybe Syndra stun with Ash Arrow, and then maybe you're one-shotting someone like the MF or Rakan. But I don't think anyone else on U of A can really get popped really fast at this point of the game.
This mid turret is under some serious danger. I mean, Wafts just dies instantly the moment the public execution hits. He's trying to bait out a play here because Zeus and Raven are here. The Bok Choy is really strong. I actually don't think this is winning for Lancer Gaming. Bok Choy is going to take down the first one here. Public execution lands onto the Syndra. So much damage, and it's an area of effect as well. Wafts is going to be going down. Zekulos is very quick to follow. Zeus, a very lonely Braum in this lonely mid lane. Violent Chill is not gonna be able to find the harpoon, but they'll find pretty much everything else.
I mean, once again, you're kind of too little too late to making these plays. You have a winning, or what should be a winning mid early game. You have a Xin Zhao, which can make a lot of pressure early, and you have an Ashe Braum. These are things that you should be having a lead to develop and then be able to make plays like this. The fact that U of A is able to just get these early drags and now be at a position where Bok Choy can just run you over the full game, it just feels quite illegal. Lancer Gaming now, I mean, they just don't really have an option. Who's going to shred the Maokai in this game, especially when he takes these Raptors and then resets, gets his second item, which is probably going to be that Unending Despair. Okay, well, you know, he got the little Raptors. And Edge of Night now for Bok Choy. Some of these champs are just going to be unkillable. Syndra still hasn't reached the second item. We have Ashe going the Executioners. Executioners calling to cut healing, but now that's going to be a very lack of damage. And yeah, Syndra is just homeless in this game.
Speed. Help the Syndra. She needs this. No, but regardless, as you were saying, yeah, Wafts is doing pretty poorly in this game. It feels really bad as well. Earlier on, before kind of this tier 1 mid play went down, we could see kind of how the lane was going, and I mean, she cannot walk into range of the public execution anymore. As soon as that ult hits, she's dead, and it's just not playable whatsoever, especially when she doesn't have the flash. It's miserable. At this point in the game, Lancer Gaming, their hope is for U of A Amber to fumble. So they're not going to be going for a contest on the Zadakan. They're not going to be contesting the Dragons. They're just going to go for a trade play into the top side here. What's the hope here? I mean, what's the hopium?
You know, Natural, at least they're trading. You know, I feel like there could be a lot of teams that would, like, start setting up bot side and, like, watch them hit the Otacon and not.
Oh. Tyler,
I think I'm back.
He's back. Never mind.
I just got DDoSed, I guess. I don't think Lancer Gaming liked the fact that I was not giving them the right amount of hopium. I was giving them credit, guys. I swear, I was saying that they're actually doing a good job of playing the sideline of Volibear, because that is the hopium. Is this Volibear now on 2 items? Let him cook. Let him face someone like Ambessa, like we're seeing. I feel like he can still maybe beat this guy up. I don't know what the logistics and specificities is of this lane. Or of this matchup. I don't know at what point Ambessa can beat the bear, but you know, I feel like on paper. Oh well, it's definitely not now. Oh,
it's a big shield and a lot of healing. It's going back and forth. That flash was questionable. He's gonna die. Valdanio is gonna take the kill credit for it. We're flashing air, unfortunately. It seems like the nerves are a little bit high.
Oh my god! Oh no! Oh no! No! Oh no!
Well.
Ambessa pressed W and ate the whole unleashed power. The whole thing.
Yeah. And I'm going to be honest with you, even if the shield was down, I am not sure she would have died.
I don't think she has the upgrades for the ult yet. Yeah, that's a stinker. I think the stinkiest part of that, stinkiest part of that one too is the fact that Wops is level 12 and Bok Choy is level 15. A 3-level lead at 22 minutes is absurd. I just don't look mid lane Adams. Just don't look to see
Just
what Bok Choy's about to buy. Oh, don't look
He
bot
is
lane.
about to find out. He was looking, unfortunately. Yeah.
Oh no.
Goodbye.
Oh. My sweet child.
It's painful. I mean, in this point of the game, you can feel kind of the desperation and the tilt coming from Lancer Gaming.
Oh my god.
It just doesn't feel good to play the game at this point anymore for anyone on the team. And more
Bok Choy
than
just
that,
bought a full Ghost Blade natural.
yeah.
Oh my god.
No, and I think the funniest part about this is I do think that at some extent, Lancer Gaming 5 minutes ago was still capable of winning. There was a chance. It wasn't a good one, but it was a chance. But now it feels like those chances are slowly dwindling, being chipped away with every questionable play from Lancer Gaming here. And now I'm going to ask you, you know what? No, it's not over yet. I believe
It's
in
not
Lancer
over
Gaming.
natural.
It's not over.
No, it's not natural. It's not natural. I mean, you know, U of A. Okay, this is the hopium. Is Lancer Gaming has to just make a coin flip team fight against U of A on this dragon, or else they get Mountain Soul, which is going to be, you know, that is when the game ends. I think. And some more cope. Well.
Well.
I was about to bring up the fact that Ashe and MF were actually similar items, and the fact that MF hadn't hit IE yet was a really good point for Lancer, but I think they might just die.
Yeah. Okay, well, what I said earlier about the game not being over, you can scratch that. This game is over. Wops here is going to get hit by the grand entrance. They're stuck under the turrets. At least Elbow has access to the ultimate, but I think Zeus still has access to his door. So they're just
That's
gonna...
a 10 Dark Seal stack Recon, by the way. I just want you to know.
Yeah, that's pretty
Oh
crazy.
my god.
Yeah, we're just throwing ultimates down, and honestly, it's kind of working.
Why not, man?
Why not?
Just send them.
You can get the tier 2 for it. You can get the dragon for it. Okay, now that the game is pretty much officially over, what do you think Lancer Gaming should do in terms of adaptations for draft?
Natural. I just like. Well, okay, no, Natural. I'm actually gonna scratch your point. I'm gonna be a really great co-caster and not yes and you and just no but you. I'm gonna actually just not. I'm just gonna ignore your question.
Okay.
There is
that's what a good
actually
caster does.
a single thing that Lancer can do that can potentially win them the game, and that is potentially ace U of A Amber on this Baron. U of A could potentially do the worst Baron setup you've ever seen in your life and die. And look at the amount of shutdowns they all have. You will become Bill Gates if all of that goes onto one person. Preferably someone like the Xin Zhao or the Syndra, maybe the Volibear. And if that happens, it's winnable. So Lancer Gaming, they're actually doing a really good proactive job of setting up the Baron and getting that space.
They're looking for a pick until their con. Define is just going to get absolutely one-tapped here. And, well, the dreams, the hopium of Lancer Gaming that you were holding on and no-butting me earlier on, it's kind of getting away.
Yeah, so to answer the question earlier, I guess, I think, honestly, I don't even know if this is a draft problem.
By the way, that's an MF 1v1ing a Xin Zhao on your screen.
Yeah, why not? I mean, look at the MF item, man. Like, IE Bloodthirster Essence Weaver, yeah, that's a balanced champion right now. That's Thanos. I mean, the thing is like, the draft, in my opinion, Lancer Gaming has a really solid draft. I would prefer a different mid laner, to be honest. I'm not the biggest fan of Syndra right now. I think there's other mages that could do what Syndra does, but better. That was like watching Shaq and Kobe in their prime. Oh, this is I know this is the Canadian league, but yeah, the alley-oop into the.
We got basketball references, believe it or not.
Yeah, you guys.
As the Enchanted Brasileiro looking for Maokai here. Will he die? Is my question.
Oh,
it sounds like a resounding no so far. As Zekulos is looking for the play, he's not gonna be able to find it. He's gonna die. Meanwhile, the Ashe just died somewhere off the screen. Bok Choy, presumably, pressing... actually, I didn't even have her ultimate.
I didn't have her. Yeah, wow.
Well,
Somehow got access to the backline.
yeah, that's
Yeah, as I was saying, I
great.
mean, I feel like the draft was actually not that bad for Lancer. They have, like, technically a couple, like, potentially winning lanes. They had a really hard winning lane at top side. I think it's just more mechanical error. Oh my god.
Here comes the public
autos?
execution. That's going to be all that is needed to take down Lancer Gaming. This felt like an easy one. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't cast that often anymore, and I really like it when games are close. Unfortunately, this was not one of them. However, we've got to give props over to U of A for how they handled this game. I mean, they picked up an Ambessa, they got the public execution, and they did execute pretty publicly.
Yeah, it was public. That is for sure. We saw a lot of that. But Natural, don't be a game on Andy. This is a best of 3. They have Fearless, Bok Choy, no more Ambassador for him. We did see signs of life for Lancer as well in the early game. There were a couple great plays that they made, especially towards the top side when they had that grub fight. I honestly thought that that Lancer Gaming was in the driver's seat at that point, and then they just let a couple fights fall through the cracks. And just the way that the season goes right now with how many objectives are available now in the game, and their lack of playing through Volibear on the side lane, it did just seem to kind of slip through their fingers like sand. But don't be a game one, Andy. We still got 2 more potentially.
I'm not going to be a game one Andy. Are you going to be a game one Andy?
No, sir.
Okay, there we go. No game one Andy's here. We are going to see what happens in the second game here. We are down to go for a break here as University of Alberta take game 1. They are on match point here. If they win the next game, they will be able to go on towards the finals. We'll see what happens, and we're praying for a little bit of a closer game. We'll be right back. And welcome back for game two. Wow, that was way more difficult than I thought it would be. Welcome back for game two of the semifinals. We're casting University of Alberta versus Lancer Gaming. That was a little bit of a trip for our introduction, but it's going to get better, I swear. So game one was a complete stomp. Like, let's call it spade a spade. It was not competitive. It was very one-sided. University of Alberta picked up the Ambessa in the mid lane. The Ambessa did extraordinarily well. She got like a level 1 trade that put the Syndra at like 50% HP, like right off the bat, and then from there it just kept going downhill.
Super cool champion. Thank you, Riot Games, for that. Has not been nerfed in quite a while, even though it's being played in pro play every single game. No worries, guys. No worries. But reminder for everyone, it is Fearless, so no more Ambessa. And also no more Rumble. And so the top lane, those are like the two top lane champs. So, we're going to be seeing some spicier picks. I don't know. We might see Jace. I don't know how prevalent people are with Jace around here, around these parts. I know a lot of people like the Jace, especially because of his new arcane skin, which is pretty awesome sauce.
It is pretty awesome sauce.
And no more Xin and Maokai, so we're going to have some more spicy jungle picks, maybe see some Vi's, maybe see some Pantheons, maybe see full clear on Fiddlesticks.
That would be sweet. That would be sick.
Would be kind of cool.
There's a lot of options for game two. Thankfully, as we said before, Fearless Draft does enable us to get a bunch more stuff. We don't have to see the same stuff over and over again. Before we get into kind of the nitty-gritty of what we're expecting, though, we should do an ad read. BMO is a proud sponsor of CIE, and student banking is pretty cool. If you're a student, BMO can help you to focus on what's important. They have checking and savings accounts, credit cards, and borrowing options that are designed for students, and you get $125 cash. That's Canadian, I assume, and 6 months of Domino's Pizza with BMO's current student offers. And there's a link, which is way too long. I'm not going to spell it out. I think you can type in Twitch like exclamation mark BMO, which will get you the link. Thank you for BMO for sponsoring the stream. And now we can get back to the nitty gritty of what we're expecting here in this draft. So obviously I think if there's like one thing that we want to change here from kind of like the strategy viewpoint, it felt like University of Alberta were like, we're going to dive. And then when it came to, Lancer Gaming, they were like, we're going to counter that dive with a Braum, with a Xin Zhao, that kind of stuff. Didn't really work that well. Do you think it's like a very like champion specific thing? It's like, oh, it's just like Ambessa's broken, or do you think it's more of like a general strategy thing?
Yeah, it's interesting because like on paper, blue side draft should always win. Braum, Xin Zhao shouldn't allow things like Ambessa to be able to survive. But you also have to think about like, well, what is easier to play? And like dive, especially when your Ambessa is so far accelerated, is kind of easier to play. Like, yes, on paper, Ashe Braum is a really strong lane, but like kind of like we were talking about in game, you kind of have to take a couple extra steps to use that lead and to be able to use the strengths that they provide, rather than like if you're playing, this is such an obvious kind of example, but if you're playing like a Draven Nautilus, it's like, well, you hook them and then you kill them, and if you don't kill them, then you lose. Like really one-dimensional, just ram your head into them and see what happens. Yeah. And also if you're like mechanically better, that's gonna work better. And I think that's kind of what we were seeing, especially just by some of the ways that the lanes were playing out. I also think that Lancer just needs to find a better idea of what their win condition is as a whole, as a team. It seemed like there were some times where they were all a little bit clueless, or especially their jungler was kind of plugging holes like while the boat was sinking, rather than trying to get above ground and find a new option, which was the Volibear, in my opinion. Volibear being up 2-0, for me, was like, that's an easy, just keep killing Rumble top and get him a huge lead and make Volibear a massive side lane problem, which is what he wants to do as a champion.
Yeah, I definitely felt like Volibear was kind of the light in that first game, the very small silver lining for Lancer Gaming. It wasn't enough, of course. But yeah, so you think that it's more of like a systemic thing. Like there's got to be like a slightly better way of like playing the game just in general. And it's not just like Mbessa.
I mean, I don't know. I'm always gonna be of the opinion that like, I mean, draft is a really big part of the game, but every draft is winning. And like in theory, especially
Yeah.
at this level of play, like yeah, if you're facing Karya Gumayushi on Ash Braum, like they're gonna win every single time. Like that's just how that matchup goes. But luckily, we're in a spot where there is a lot of freedom and expressibility based on like levels of skill and levels of experience of these champions. And so as much as like we could talk about like was this draft winning, both sides had a lot of opportunities to win. And we talked about it before. Blue had a really great advantage of their void grub play. Sure, they were down a Drake, but they got grubs, but then they just didn't use it. They were kind of always one step behind. And Alberta just seemed to be a lot more proactive and played around each other a lot better.
They played better. Yeah, believe it or not, playing better does make it easier for you to win games in League of Legends.
That's how that works.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that is kind of how it
Sorry.
works.
Can you run that
Yeah,
by me
I'll
again
wait
one
a
more
second.
time? Yeah, can you just 1 second? Yeah, can you just you're saying
Play better.
play. Actually, wait, let me just hold on.
Yeah, take your time. You got this.
I think I need a bigger form of note taking here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take notes. This
Sorry.
will be on the final.
Okay. Yeah, what was it?
So play better. Yep.
Better.
Equals win more.
Well, I mean, when you put it that way, it's just so easy. Like, oh,
Yeah.
duh, yeah, okay. Well,
Yeah.
should we send like should I take like a picture and send to Lancer, or like,
We're definitely getting DDoS now.
oh shit! All of a sudden, oh, T-Man's gotta get.
Whoa. Okay.
Crazy.
Yeah. Anyways, I mean, we're obviously joking about it, but I mean, I agree with you. Yeah, you know, we like to talk about drafts a lot because it's easy to talk about, and there is like a lot of, you know, it's fun to talk about drafts. But to some extent, yes.
Yeah.
But yes, to some extent, you are correct that, you know, either of these two teams could have won. I think you swap the drafts, and if Lancer plays the way that they did and University of Alberta played the way that they did, they still would have won, even with the other side draft. I think a lot of the times I was looking kind of towards the bot lane, and I think that's just because I have like the most experience, you know, watching bot lane and kind of like considering like which lane is winning and stuff like that. And there were a lot of times where I felt like Lancer Gaming had like an advantage in lane. They had opportunities to just throw out these Ash arrows. And I just weren't flying. They just weren't going anywhere. They weren't really taking like opportunities of summoners being down, of the jungler being on the other side, even in a matchup that, I mean, let's be clear, like if you get hit by an Ash arrow as an MF with no cleanse, you cannot win the extended 2v2. It's not possible.
So that also, yeah, that's a great point, and I also want to like further layer it. Not only does Ashe have a really strong, like hard CC, all three solo lanes have some sort of really easy CC that sets up a jungler that might have like a skill shot that would like allow them to like dash to the target and then like kill them. Oh wait, they have Xin Zhao.
No way.
But also we kind of talked about it on cast, like it also felt like both teams were really scared to make plays, especially Lancer. They just kind of had like some nervousness going into this game. They felt really afraid to, yeah, like you said, pull the trigger on Ash arrows, pull the trigger with Xin Zhao ganks as well and plays there. I wonder, is it like a warm-up? Are they just feeling a little nervous going to this best of 3? Are they nervous about the teams that they're facing? Now that they've maybe warmed up, they're like, okay, you know, we're in the series now. It's a best of 3. We got the game one out of the way, got the rust out of the cogs, even though they just played a best of 1 earlier. Maybe we might see them go for stronger plays like that. Because I completely agree, Lancer should just be throwing out Ash arrows and killing that Rakan or MF off cooldown with a Xin Zhao and a Braum, tagging them immediately. Like that should just be the play every single time. Or Syndra stun, or Volibear stun into, you know, like Xin Zhao's game should be so easy there, you know?
Well, either way, they had some opportunities. They didn't take enough. I guess they didn't like really take the opportunities that were given to them through the draft and through the play that they had. And even in the opportunities that they had, it felt like it kind of slipped away. We saw so many times where they were kind of like close to formulating a play, but then, Xin Zhao flashes on cooldown, so there is no real engage, or the Ash Arrow is in cooldown, or the MFS cleanse, and it just kind of falls apart. So let's hope for this game that is a little bit more competitive, a little bit closer, that University of Alberta don't get like a complete stomp on Lancer, and that Lancer this time we have like a few punchbacks. They're able to counter a little bit, able to dodge, and fight back a little bit. We are ready to get into draft, so let's get just straight into it and see what both of these teams have got ready for us.
Now, Nacho, we do have to be worried about the infamous Bok Choi Rise being picked up here.
Shivers.
He is U of A is on blue side, which means Bok Choi is on blue side, which means we might see a B1 Rise. Imagine the world and the timeline of B1 Rise in the Big 2-5. Like,
that's crazy. 5 reworks later.
Oh my god.
An incredible amount of buffs, like 3 world skins, I think, or something. No, how many world skins does yours have? Like at least
he has T1. He has a Faker skin.
Yeah, for sure. Is it just the one?
I think it's just that one, right?
It's just the one. Yeah, never mind. Anyways, U of Amber here. Yeah, my bad. U of A Amber here are going to ban away the Viego and the Aurelia. Very similar bans to game 1. So I'm assuming U of A Amber pretty happy with their first round of bans, I assume. I mean, especially considering how game 1 went.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we did our research. We did our homework. We know what champions are good at. We're just going to get those out of the way. Lancer Gaming are going to ban away the Fiddlesticks and the Ahri. I'm going to also take a look here at the champions that are banned from the first draft, because we are playing Fearless once again. Maokai, MF, Ambessa, Rakan, Rumble off the board. And I believe it is hard Fearless, which means that neither of the champions are pickable from either team. And so is Xin Zhao, Braum, Syndra, Ashe, and Volibear. So all of those champions are out. As the Orianna is going to be the ban, so exact same bans here from U of Amber on the first round of bans. And Lancer Gamer are considering the Vladimir for the last ban, which is just pocket picks. These are just like comfort on each team. What is going to be the B1?
So I would expect like a jungler or a Varus. That is very like tier 1 B1 is like a Varus. The only other thing that I would maybe see is like Azir, and then your hand shaking like if this was tier 1, you'd probably I feel like Varus is gonna be the B1, and then you'd probably see something like Azir being picked up here with a jungler to go along with Azir, and then you'd pick on the other side Talia, and then like another jungler to match whatever pick was there. And then the 3 would probably be like either AD carry match or maybe a prio support. But this is not tier 1. So we get to maybe see the spicy picks from Lancer Gaming, such as this Zyra Hover, which is going to be locked in. We've seen this a lot. Zyra Jhin.
Zyra Jhin. Nice. I like
could be
that.
bot lane, could be Zyra jungle, but I do really love this Jhin. I think Jhin is in such a strong point right now. In my opinion, one of the best AD carries. Especially with, he just allows the supports to be picked up, or a lot of supports to be played. But Varus Karma would be a very dangerous bot lane to be facing as well.
Mm-hmm. This could be the, Varus Karma kind of like poke variations with double Clemets. Or it could be, I assume that's kind of what's happening here. When you're playing into Zyra Jhin, you don't really want to go beyond hit Varus. It is pretty painful. Sejuani here being considered for U of A Amber gives them a little bit more engage, a little bit more lockdown. It's going to be locked in. So not very exciting of a jungler, unfortunately, as Lancer Gaming is considering the Ivern here as the answer. Now that's an interesting one. What do you think of that?
Yeah, so Ivern actually is decently meta in like the West. The East is not a big fan of the Green Father, but Ivern is a really great pick into blind pick Sejuani's and Maokai's, just because you're able to set up and kind of go against what they want to do. Sejuani, Maokai, very one-dimensional, go forward. Ivern is like, all right, cool, yeah, go forward. I'm going to have someone like melee in front of me and just tank all of it. The only thing that does concern me, though, is Ivern really wants to be playing around an engaged support. Something like a Leona, an Alistar, a Rel, something to be in front of him to be able to shield and also tank the Sejuani ults, to tank the Maokai ults. And they do have Zyra this go around. So the bot side 3v3 is a little awkward because it's like, okay, who's tanking the Sejuani ult? Daisy? She's not taking that. Her waist is snatched. She's gonna go right past it. Like, she doesn't care.
She's on Ozempic, baby.
She's got those Ozempic needles, bro. And then like Vera's Karma is just gonna eat you up for dinner, because they're not on Ozempic. They're okay gaining some weight. So like I think Lancer Gaming is gonna really need a really strong like engaged tank top, because so far they're kind of lacking a little bit of damage, but also just a little bit more of that like, you know, they just need that like, that spark, that like tank that has engaged. I'm thinking an Ornn. I'm thinking an Ornn. And I'm thinking an Yone.
Lancer Gaming is thinking of Yone.
I do like Yone.
They see your Ornn, they raise a Yone. I like the proposition. I'm definitely a lot more into seeing a Yone than an Ornn. I mean, I love Ornn as a champion. He's great. Shout out Nicole if you're in chat. It is a great champion, but I will say that Yone is very fun to watch as well, and they're gonna lock it in. It is also pretty good into Vara's Karma, excuse me. I mean, those are completely immobile champions, especially if you're going lethality Varus. You have zero ways of getting out of that Yone ult if you don't have flash.
Yeah, and he's gonna have Ivern playing with him, as well as Jhin, you know, having the utility. Oh my god, it's Bok Choy Rise.
It's here. It's here.
Bok Choy Rise versus Yone is gonna go crazy. Camille blind pick is insane, because Jax is still prevalent. Renekton, who is on my bed, is also still available. Those are two really hard counters to Camille, and also two really great champs for Lancer. Those are also those champs I was thinking of. Those bruisers. Those. We're going Gwen.
Okay. I mean, I'm excited. I, for one, am excited.
Okay. I'm excited. All right.
Yeah.
I'm excited too. Play topside. Let Jhin Zyra just kind of play from afar. I do like it. I think Zyra is going to be really good into Camille and Sejuani. The only thing though, Natural, is like, I don't really see Lancer Gaming getting onto the Rise, getting onto the Varus Karma, other than maybe the Yone ult. But if Yone ult does a banana combo, they don't really have any turn abilities. You have like Jhin ult to maybe chase, but I feel like once you get past those two frontliners, they don't really have a lot of access to that backline.
Regardless of what draft has been like, we are into game number 2 here. U of A Amber versus Lancer Gaming. This time, University of Alberta are on the blue side. They've opted for, I will say, a little bit more of a standard draft, it feels like. We've got some more standard champions, some more standard setups, while Lancer Gaming, it feels like they're bringing out the special sauce. As we've got the Jhin Zyra, as we mentioned before. Setups, nothing too insane. It is going to be the Poke Varus here, as we mentioned earlier. Definitely not a game for lethality Varus here. You don't have a front line to hit. As Bok Choy, drop a ward.
He already dodged the first Yone Q of the game. Like, he's just mentally locked in, bro.
He's living inside of Lancer Gaming's heads.
Honestly, after that first game, yeah. I mean, yeah. I would be mentally depleted a little bit facing that guy. I mean, he just nuked my mid laner. Like dropped actually I think 25 kill streak.
Didn't you say not to be a game one, Andy?
Okay, I'm not a game one Andy. You're right. But like, okay, low key when I was a player, like I was low key a game one Andy. I would be a little tilted going into game 2.
You know what? That's totally fair.
So, you know, but no worries. Because I'm not a player anymore, so...
Exactly.
Don't hate the player, hate the game. What Zyra skin is that? Do you know? Is that a new one?
Is that Crystal Rose?
Well, actually,
Maybe?
We're not going to look at it. Mr.
Actually,
Producer,
not a skin in the
please
game?
look at Zyra.
Oh, yeah. I think
is that... Oh, it's Spirit Blossom. That's a new one.
Oh, wow.
It looks like every other Zyra skin. But yeah, in my opinion, Zyra support is just not it. I'm gonna be so honest. I think Zyra support can be really good if it's like into melees, but Karma kind of just does what Zyra does, but like low-key better, because she's able to transition into a support later in the game. Like Zyra's already down a pot, and that was just like 1 or 2 Mantra Qs being hit onto her little forehead. So bot lane's gonna be a little bit rough. But I think after the first recall, Lancer Gaming is probably going to be chilling.
Mid lane here. Remember, Bok Choy did extraordinarily well until off here on the first game. And this time, it's Bok Choy who's on the ranged champion in the ranged versus melee matchup. So we'll see how the matchup goes this time around. Yone, obviously, is going to struggle a little bit in the early game, but should be fine as the game goes later on. This Camille should be fine here, just walking it out. Has access to... Oh, she actually went D-Blade, not D-Shield. She'll be fine regardless. Both junglers here are present in the top side. The Ivern very quick on the clear. As Sejuani just needs a little bit more time to finish her full clear here.
That is something that's going to be interesting for U of A to deal with is, are they really present and knowledgeable of facing Ivern? Because he kind of cheats the game a little bit. You don't really... He doesn't clear as traditionally as other junglers.
Volker is looking here. Zekilos is changing a song on Spotify, I believe. That's going to be a flash. That's it. Full clear gets first blood on the Sejuani.
Well, I hope he got the right song, because that's going to cost him his lane now. I mean, he was recalling, so low-key faster. Bok Choy, though.
Yeah, he's taking a trade. He's far up in the lane. Raven is maybe looking for a play here. He has access to the flash, but it would be a very ambitious flash. Just going to throw a Q and go take a crap.
I got really excited. I'm not gonna lie, Natural. Like, that was a weird throw, but like I saw Bok Choy. Like, I saw a dream of him like flash auto Q autoing. But I think it's because of that one Rise clip I saw. Oh my god, the movement from Karma.
Well, Daniel here is gonna have to flash out. Nice dodge there onto the Ivern Q, and he's gonna be able to get it out. I feel like Raven, there was a potential there for a flash Q. He's not gonna take it. He's just gonna walk away. And we've got a relatively slow start to the game once again. A few kills, or excuse me, 1 kill, a few summoners. Valdano here, he's here to prove me wrong, and Defiant is just gonna kill him. I have no clue why Valdano is there.
Yeah, I think they just, you know, it's the, like, it's, everyone's done it. The jungler ganks, it fails, you go back to playing the lane just as usual. You know, the jungler's no longer here. He already failed his gank. No way he would come back. But he came back. It is Ivern, so he can cheat his reset a little bit. And we're going to be seeing that. And that actually gives...
Seculos here. The Q2.
Ah!
He's just dead.
Yeah.
Nice solo kill there by I Loves You. What a username, by the way. But yeah, that's going to be a very nice solo kill there. Had the reset, had the teleport, had the sheen, and that extra little bit of damage means that he's dead. Valdano here, very easy Mantra Q. Will be flashed away. Means that for now, the Yone is going to survive. Raven, meanwhile, is going to dash under turret here. Soak up a little bit of experience. Bok Choy is looking for the kill. I don't think that's going to work. He's going to be able to flash out. And that's an awkward situation, but Raven is going to be able to walk away.
You also saw him try to mark the Raptors, but he doesn't even have enough HP to be able to mark the Raptors either. U of A, I mean, we saw them get a lot of control last game, but it was more into the mid game that they found that control. So far in this game, they've found control in all 3 lanes. I guess maybe not bot side. They did have a pretty substantial lead until, you know, Raven, you know, jungle roll, did the jungle roll thing. But also 1 kill in this lane doesn't really change that much, but I'm afraid of a champion like Camille getting multiple kills, and this Gwen hasn't really been able to find anything. Like,
yeah, we're 6 minutes into the game, and there's a 1k lead here for University of Amber. It's not good news. It's definitely not good news, and even in the one lane where Lancer Gaming have a shot, it kind of felt like more of a fluke than anything else. Didn't really feel like Valdania had to die there whatsoever. So far, U of Amber definitely have a little bit of an advantage here. Let's hope that Lancer Gaming this time are able to push the advantage that they do have. This time they will be able to get the dragon here, most likely, as the Sejuani is on the other side of the map. Might be looking for a dive here onto the top side. There is a 2-level lead on this Camille. And this Gwen. I'm not sure how close she is to level 6. And W under the turret. She gets to level 6 here. How much healing can the needles do is the question. She's going to be able to trade. And I don't think that's that bad of a trade.
Yeah, I feel like you're super happy with that. Losing that big wave too. Neither top laner has TP, but it's actually a trade mid. Oh, that doesn't hit.
Looking for a play onto Bok Choy, but that not hitting. Jin W as well, going to be dodged away by Bok Choy. And you can kind of see the combo there that the Jhin Zyra is supposed to do as he's
my
flashing
God.
in for the Q. The last auto doesn't do enough damage, and he's going to be able to walk away, but man, was it close. Buckshot used his flash, but now it's both teams that are kind of collapsing onto this mid lane. But Lancer Gaming, they're in a numbers deficit here. The Glacial Prison is going to hit. Raven is taken down very low. Bok Choy is once again starting to speak Mandarin as Zeus is going to have to flash away. And I fear that U of A Amber have once again gotten quite a significant lead. Zekulus is going to take a bad trade and walk away, but it's going to be... Oh my god, actually look at this lane state. Ooh, that is horrendous.
This is Armageddon top lane. It's Armageddon mid lane. Bok Choy, I mean, he might as well just be used for advertising on Duolingo with how much Chinese he's speaking. I think the biggest part of that flash combo that was the most impressive to me was that he just ulted in place as well. Like, he literally ulted like 2 feet in front of him.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, I think the spectator like bugged, you know, because the spectate actually for League of Legends is really perfect and awesome. You couldn't see it, but it is on cooldown because he ulted literally in front of him. And so
That's
like
the
to
six-pack
me,
influence right there.
that's either like the 6-pack Rise combo where you confuse the enemy team, or also he's pressing F, E, W all at the same time so hard that he also hit R, which I've done multiple times. Speaking of
happens
R,
to the best of us. Zekulos here. 2v2 situation. Valdania is only level 4. So, but they're going to be able to hold...
and walks away.
That's a support moment right there. This is... I love
Been
Karma.
there.
It's great.
Done that.
It's awesome, actually.
Especially as Karma too.
Oh. Look at the Verisol. It's going to be cleansed away. And, like, plays Stallboys in a 1v2 situation, and he's doing perfectly fine. Like, this is good, arguably.
Which is so
for him.
surprising. Really surprising. When you're facing Jhin Zyra, I feel like he'd be under a lot more pressure, but I think he's just able to clear the wave from afar, or maybe dropping a couple melees. He is Dirk with tears, so he can just kind of spam Q. But Wops is just getting bullied.
This is brutal. Zekulos here under turret. They're going to dive him once again. He has access to the ultimate right out the gate this time, though. And U of A Amber, I fear you may have overplayed your card just a little bit. And in the meantime, it's actually a 1v2 kill. In the bot side, Lancer Gaming did manage to finally take down this Varus. So everything that we just said is not as relevant anymore, as Lancer Gaming now have the advantage in kills for the first time in the series. Still behind in gold, as Raven might be looking for a gank here onto the mid lane, but I think Buckshot is just completely fine. There's just no way to kill this Rise.
I mean, he's on Catalyst, he's got CDR boots, he's got Phase Rush, he can run away. I think something that is making U of A a little bit awkward is the fact that Valadonio... Oh my... He's so...
50-50 chance, and Bai Loves You did choose the right direction. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Raven is going to have to flash away. Zekulos here is, he's just completely dead. Goodbye.
Somehow, Zekulos getting a level lead, even though he was down like 2 levels at one point. But also this Karma just feels a little homeless. I don't think... I think she feels like she can't play bot, which probably is true at this point with the items. I mean, Collector now on Jhin. Zyra got the Faded Ashes, so she is going to be a little bit stronger than the Karma. But she was kind of just sitting mid for a little bit, helping Bok Choy try to find a kill or something. But like, Bok Choy's chilling. He doesn't need your help. You need to be playing around your jungler. If you're going to be roaming, great spectate bug. You gotta, like, if you're going to be playing around somebody, you got to support your jungler. You know, some of the best teams have a great jungle support duo. Or else,
flash away here from Valdonio. The Q is going to hit onto the Varus. Play Stallboy is doing a lot of turn damage, excuse me. Back to the Ivern, but the Ivern isn't going to die, and U of A Amber's bot lane is. And this is the strong point that we were talking about for Lancer Gaming, and this time they are taking advantage of it.
Yeah. Lancer, there's a bit of a problem in the bot lane for U of A, for sure. The 3-0 Jhin is going to be really strong. I will say, as much as like that's really great for Lancer, we do have to put it into context of this is going to be a Jhin, having to play Jhin into Camille Sejuani Rise. Especially that this Rise is getting really tanky. Sejuani is getting pretty dang tanky as well, and that Camille is going to be on your butt. Like, it is good that he gets this lead, but Bok Choy's here.
Bok Choy is going to get rooted once, rooted twice. Define is relatively quick. He doesn't have access to the flash, though. No Sejuani ult, as you mentioned. Nice try on that dodge. It's still going to hit. Stun is going to connect, and this should be a very dead Define. The kill credit is going to go over to the Varus. And in the meantime, in the top lane, we had a solo kill going over to the side of Bai Loves You. And the pendulum swings once again, T-Van. This time in the direction of UA Amber.
I just feel bad for our producer because every time something happens one side, Zeklos or Baya Loves You just dies. And we're just never able to watch it. Like, it's like Q2 top side and someone's dead. Like, it's like, meanwhile, and I mean, like, that is a Tiamat Trinity Force Camille now. And if I'm playing Jhin, I'm terrified. I'm genuinely, like, quaking in my boots. That Camille is going to chop off my head in the next team fight. I will say, BF Sword looking pretty solid. Redemption being done for Raven. But no Bork for the side of Yone. The Roa being done for Ryze.
They're able to lock this Ryze down, though. You don't see bait. So much crowd control just being laid on top of each other. They're going to be able to find him.
Wait.
Lancer Gaming find a very clean engage. Layer CC perfectly, and Bokchoy is actually going to die.
I was about to say that Lanza Gaming was not really in a position to fight. They didn't have those item spikes, but they do a great job of finding Bokchoy. Bokchoy feels comfortable playing with full clear here, but it's actually the AD carry support being first to mid. And look at where Postalbo is. Varus is in base. We can't contest Dragon with our AD carry in base. It's a 4v3, and you got the lockup and CC, and now Postalbo dancing in his shoes under tower, but we got a lot of control for Lancer.
Zekulous 1v1 here against Baya Loves You. He's going to be able to find the last proc of the needles here, but Baya Loves You still has quite a bit of health, and Zekulous cannot say the same. I don't think you survived this one, buddy. Yeah, that was optimistic to say the least. But regardless, this is not like the focus of the game. The 1v1 top lane is just kind of going back and forth constantly. But I think I'm more interested in talking about. Oh my god, wait! He's actually looking for it. Baya Loves You. He has the ultimate. He's on the turret.
No.
It happens to the best of us, but this, folks, is why you have an attack champions only button. This is what it is for. Take notes. Full clear. It's his time to go for a dive. Zeus is going to dodge on the W. Not going to hit the root. Raven is now here. It's a 2v2 situation. Everyone's just going to walk away. Take a breather. Okay, relax. You don't have to do this. Just walk away.
Yeah, like you said, plays like that are always the best advertisement for Target Champions Only. Guys, please get a bind for Target Champions Only. For me, it's H. I use H for Target Champs Only. It's a little awkward, but it will save your life. You're not going to be embarrassed like our Camille was just barely on our screen. Just try and... The fact that just, like, this game is so bloody, too. Look at the bounties. The only person that has a bounty is Zeus, and he, like, when he was about to die under tower, had 350 gold. And now it's up to 200, just because of how much the gold is swinging around. I mean, Lancer Gaming now up 600 gold.
Yeah.
This game is just anyone's at the moment. You kind of have to
Bokchoy
put
doesn't have
context in it.
flash. Raven is trying to find the Q, not going to be able to find it. Very quick there.
Oh!
Sojourn Yalt is on the other hand side, going to connect. Raven flashes over the wall. Zeus is here for a little bit of peel. The Redemption is going to heal as well. The Unsealed Fate is actually going in for the Yone. The Kirkman's Call on the other hand side will be able to trade the kill. It's a fiesta from both teams. That's actually a lot of damage from the Zyra as well as Daisy. And now it's just in favor of Lancer Gaming? Question mark?
Well, but meanwhile, top lane once again. Gwen didn't die this time, but Camille got a full tower. So that's a really strong Camille. Probably gonna be 2 item on this reset. I'm just confused, like, why are we fighting bot when Rift Herald's up? Nothing's bot. Just a weird fight from both sides. I mean, sure, you get the kills, but what do those kills really mean? I think at the end of the day, though, Natural, I think with this, how scrappy this game is, U of A is always going to be happier just due to the fact that U of A scales harder. And so the fact that they get a little bit accelerated in the gold department means that Camille and Ryze are going to be able to get those items faster. And, you know, with how Bokchoy has been playing these past couple games, him getting 2, 3 item, I mean, we saw it in that best of 1. He's gonna do things to you that you didn't even imagine Ryze could do.
He's got those, he's got his editor, like, filming this right now, ready to send out the TikTok Ryze clips.
Pretty sure it's already there. Like, it's on WeChat already. like somehow. Like they've already like they have the no delay stream, and like
They got it unlocked.
he's like streaming like on his own Twitch channel, but like it's private to like one person, and like it got
The
approved.
DDoS
so
that we had
like,
earlier was actually his editor joining the call.
Oh yeah, he accidentally joined my VMix link. That's right. Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Okay. Well, speaking of that scaling, those 6 minutes on the Roa for him, so he's going to be quite strong here in about 4 more minutes. When that, not in this next dragon, but the dragon after that, he'll probably have a 1 to 2 level lead, just based off of how much side laning he is doing. My question for us, though, Natural, is when does Define get this IE?
Raven, though, gonna be in the baby cage, but the blast plant famously
He's in the baby
very
cage,
good tool to get
actually.
out, and now
Oh my
this
God.
time the Camilla's in the bouncy castle. And I think it is so funny the comp that Lancer Gaming have, because if one piece of crowd control lands, there is so much follow-up. It's pretty funny. It is the comp that Lancer Gaming opted into, and it is working relatively well for them this time, though.
So good.
Yeah, the Unsealed Fate went a little bit wide. Bok Choy, very nice movement there. Is going to be able to make it out, no problem. Valdania, though, hit by the Jin W. Yeah, the Curtains call. I feel like it was an opportunity to ult potentially, but he's not going to go for it. It feels like this game is like on the teetering edge. It feels like any time one team fight goes the way of either team, and the game might just be over then and there.
So
This
I
next
think
dragon.
Yeah,
Yep,
this is going to be that fight that is going to be on that teetering edge, because Ryze is coming in with 2 items. Camille also has 2 items. Gwen is going to be recalling here, potentially getting her second item as well. Going to be TPing back. Actually doesn't have that second item. So like this is a really big fight for U of A to get back into the game with how strong Camille and Ryze are. It just depends on when does Camille TP and can they cut through these Zyra plants in the Ivern poke, because they do have all that healing. And it's going to be Camille TPing flank. It's going to be a pinch towards Yone here.
Bai loves you. Level 14, very strong on this Camille. Already 50% of the HP from that Yone gone. Meanwhile, the Zyra just gets absolutely demolished by the arrow. Bok Choy is pumping out damage. And I think Lancer Gaming are on the run here. Bai loves you. Chops down the tree. This is not an eco-friendly stream. They're looking for the Yone. The curtains have been called under their turret. Bai loves you is taking a lot of damage. Wafts. Yeah, there's no way out of this. He's just gonna ease straight into a headbutt and die. And UOV Amber, I think they found the plate that they were looking for.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge swing of gold for them, as well as going to be this 3rd dragon. So that's going to deny Lancer Gaming that soul point, and that's going to give them a little bit more time to keep scaling. They also have the option to go Otacon here. I like that they're just doing dragon and not going Otacon, because I don't think they have the time to do it, especially because Define now out of base has that second item of an Affinity Edge. These guys are going to be doing a lot of damage to people like the Varus, like the Karma, and even things like Sejuani and even Bok Choy. But yeah, look at the replay here. Waft's getting connected on by Camille, but on the other side, Zeus got one tapped by Varus. Bok Choy just gets so much uptime in this fight, because it doesn't feel like Lancer Gaming has any sort of option to kill Bok Choy. They have the availability to tank some of the spells, like their initial engage, they can survive it. They have the uptime of Redemption from Ivern, and they have some shielding, but past that, unless the people are going into their range, they can't really do that much against the comp of U of A.
And I think the positioning there from the Camille was just so excellent. Putting together Lancer Gaming in a way where they just really can't find a pick. It's them getting engaged on first before they're able to layer crowd control onto a single member of U of A. And after that, it kind of all falls apart. As placed elbow here, that goes completely wide.
Sorry, I think that hit my window.
As Bai Loves You is now pretty deep. Define, though, is taking quite a lot of damage. The Redemption is going to help. And this time, it's U of A Amber going a little bit too far. And I think this is where the Ivern really shines.
This is exactly what I was saying, though, right? Is like Camille and Sejuani are gonna have a really hard time facing Lancer, but then that gives Bok Choy and Questalbo a lot of time to deal some damage, and that's really where U of A's comp shines.
Raven lands a Q. Choy's gonna get knocked up by Daisy here, but he is extraordinarily strong. I mean, he's playing with a lot of confidence, and I feel like this time it is not as easy to kill him as maybe it was in the mid lane. And even then, it was not exactly easy. It was a lot of crowd control being hit and layered on top of each other for him to die. We'll have to see if they're actually able to take him down at any point. The Jin unlocking his third item might help with that. Wafts, though, is still very far behind. I mean, it's a 2-level lead here for Bok Choy. When does Yone actually start winning the side lane is my question.
I don't know if he really does, but he's going to have some help here. That is a lot of damage.
1v3. He's still able to return a lot of the damage, but he is going to go down eventually. They didn't have to use the Zyra ultimate for that, but it's going to be worth it. Placed elbow, kind of just throwing an arrow, hoping to find a snipe. Not going to be able to find it. Sonic Kahan is still up. I don't think if either team is really willing to pull the trigger on it yet, though.
There's just really no point. Otacon is not an objective that you can just kind of flip like a Baron or a Dragon. You're gonna like say, alright, let's just do it, and maybe we'll peel off of it. It just does so much damage. It shreds so many resistances. Like, that's how you lose a game, is just by going through for a dumb Otacon play. It seems that they're both gonna contest it. They're gonna drop the Herald for it as well to give a little bit of prio. I think I like this play. Bok Choy does have the TP. If Rift Herald actually eliminates the Waft's recall here, and Gwen is in base.
What is happening? U of A Amber, they throw a bunch of random stuff at the wall. That's a very nice Q3 onto 3. Yone is going to die for it. The curtains have been called. Valdemio is going to go down instantly. Blaze Talbot, very nice movement, is going to dodge away, but not dodge away on the last shot. Jin finds another kill. Lancer Gaming now have control over the river, control over Khan. Some low HP bars, and Bok Choy is still very healthy. Doesn't have access to Flash soon. Lancer Gaming have started up this Otacon. Bok Choy is walking up. He's not scared. We're waiting on the Jin W there, the flourish. Otacon down to 8k. Full clear is walking up. 5k now onto the Otacon, looking for the kill onto the Zyra, but taking a lot of damage, just gonna kite away. Bok Choy takes down one. Is gonna get 4 shot to the forehead as he flashes into the bush, and he's gonna go down. Meanwhile, I think someone just randomly died to the Otacon. Divine is gonna die to full clear. Otacon is gonna reset. Waps is gonna find the Sejuani unless Zeus finds him first. Bye Loves You is now in the melee though. That Q goes completely wide, but the Ignite is gonna be able to take down the Sejuani. Now the Camille and the Karma are on the Otacon. 7k. Zeus is the only one left here from Lancer Gaming. Can she do anything about this? I don't know. There's no ultimate left. Bye Loves You. I think U of A Amber are trying to pull it towards their side, but it doesn't matter. Decapitates the Vine on the other side of the wall. And U of A Amber will be able to take the Otacon after a very messy team fight.
Exactly what I said before. Otacon is the objective that you can just throw any lead possible if you do not play it precisely. I mean, both sides making a lot of blunders there, but U of A just has a little bit more availability to play through those blunders. Lancer Gaming's comp kind of relies on being able to take up space and holding your ground and playing with Zyra plants and Ivern shields to be able to push back any aggression that U of A gives, but once one of those pieces are falling away, such as an Ivern dying, then that gives U of A's divers free will to do whatever they want.
Lancer Gaming, they're walking into the bush completely wide on the Sejuani ult. Does absolutely no damage to her either. Zekilos, though, he's trying to look for the kill into Plastalbo, but he's not going to be able to find it. Bai Loves You kills the Gwen much faster than the Gwen kills the Varus. And that's just going to be a pick here for U of A Amber. And now with full control over the river, they should be able to get this dragon completely for free. I really don't think that Lancer Gaming should even think about contesting this, and they will let it go for now.
Cloud Dragon is a great dragon for blue side here. That movement speed is going to be doing a lot, especially when a lot of Lancer Gaming's CC is kind of like movement speed based in a way where like you're able to play around the roots.
Looking for a pick though. The Karma is already taking a lot of damage, and it's just going to die here. And this is the strength, if there is one, of Lancer Gaming. It's kind of these long-range picks that we've seen over and over again. A random Zyra E followed into a flourish, followed into the curtain call. It's doing a lot of damage, and it's finding these picks across the map. And I think Lancer Gaming, they have to opt like 100% into that.
Yeah, so there's two things that we're learning from these team fights. Is Lancer's comp, this is something that we have been saying throughout the draft, is Lancer's Gaming does a great job of taking up space and holding space. U of A, it seems that when they're just kind of running at them with no setup, no one to follow up, not one big 5-man snap engage, it's going to fail. The times where team fights have been successful is when fights are a little bit sloppy, a little bit messier. And when there's a flank,
Okay, yep.
I mean, the Camille is so strong on side. No one can match this guy. And yet they keep wanting to 5v5 natural. They keep wanting to say, okay, let's go into what their comp wants. Keep letting Bide take over these side lanes and keep letting him play flanks because that is what's winning them these team fights.
But boy, I do not like this one. U of A Amber have a setup on Baron. And Raven went to the bot side to try and stop this Camille from split pushing, but the Baron is gone. If you look at this game of League of Legends like a chessboard, Stockfish right now is telling you that you blundered. It's a big red bar on the side that is telling you, hey buddy, that was kind of bad. Why did that happen? Yeah, Raven going towards the bot side just means that U of A Amber get to get Baron completely for free. There's not even a chance of them stealing it. And now it feels like U of A Amber have once again a very solid advantage in this game.
So something fun about League of Legends is like the way that momentum feels. Like it's not objective. It's not like I can tell you, oh, U of A does have an advantage right now because they have a 3,000 gold lead, or 2.5, excuse me. Like that's not really that substantial. I mean, it is substantial, but it's not like that substantial. But it's more the fact that they have momentum going into this reset. They have Baron buff. They've won the past couple plays, and so now it does, like, you can kind of feel that they're in the driver's seat here. They're kind of the conductors of the map. But because the lead isn't that substantial, they have to be very cautious about what they do here, because this game is still very winnable from both sides. If U of A makes another dumb engage 5v5 into Zyra Ivern and gets one shot, specifically this Camille or the Sejuani, this game's going right back into Lancer's favor. But if U of A just slowly plays the sides, plays their man advantage, and plays with the poke of Varus, there's not a lot that Lancer can really do.
It's a little bit of a battle of poke here. Wasp has to be really careful. There's a Camille on his 6.
4 levels up Camille too. That's a level 18 Camille natural.
Yep, 30 minutes. As this turret should be going down very soon. They're defending it as best they can. The Varus ult is completely going to miss. The Sejuani ult is going to hit. They're looking for the Varus, though. Might be able to one-shot him here with the Fate Unsealed. He's going to flash out, and he is going to go down.
But Bok Choy!
Varus, meanwhile, on the side. Bok Choy's looking for the flag. He's not going to be able to find it, though. And this Gwen still does damage. Bok Choy's going to go golden for just a moment. That's a nice root from the Zyra, as well as the ultimate follow-up. But no one goes down. It's only the Varus dead, and I think Lancer Gaming are going to be very happy with that outcome.
Bok Choy flashing in and almost finding 3 people, but 3 narrowly lick their wounds and run back to base. But Bok Choy was, like, slowly winning bot. Look at his position. He's hitting bot in hit, but because his AD carry is getting picked off, they don't allow him to... He's forced to rotate for this fight. Fortunately, the E doesn't bounce onto the wave. If it did, it would have bounced to 2 of them, and he probably would have gotten a pentakill here. But like I was saying earlier, let your side laner side lane. There's a top tier 2 that this Camille could be playing, but instead Camille's playing towards mid. Let the minions do their work. Let your tempo do the work. Let the Baron do the work. Stop forcing these dumb plays, because it's exactly how Lancer Gaming keeps getting back into this game.
I think if Bok Choy was speaking just a little bit less English there. That's a pentakill for U of A Amber.
We'd have to tune into the Discord and see like what his comms were.
Yeah. I fear this conversation was not happening over WhatsApp.
No.
But regardless of what social media Bok Choy is using in this instance, they're still very strong, very far ahead. They have control over the map, as you said. It feels like this is U of A Amber's game to lose, especially now on Soul Point. Bia loves you. Just want to walk away from that. It's Lancer Gaming are on the ropes.
Yes, they are. Especially if Wolf gets picked here. They don't go for the Glacial Prison. I thought they were going to pull the trigger, and I think Wops would have died. Probably got 1 shot. But it's good to slow it down. 2 minutes on Baron. The only standing gold on the map right now, natural, is this top tier 1. I feel like that's kind of, you know, U of A can push bot, push mid, and then all rotate top, hit the tower, reset, and then be on map for Baron. Maybe get your item spikes like this 4th item on Camille. Potentially get Zonia's. Those are really big spikes that you need. Instead of maybe potentially dying 1v2 top. But instead it's a Rune Prison mid.
Off's here, very low HP. A lot of damage. The Zyra ult as well as the Varus ult are going to be thrown. Going to be 1-for-1 for now. Divine is going to have to use the cleanse because the Varus bounced on top of him. Full clear is going to die for it though. It's an even trade in kills. However, Baya Loves You is just keeps demolishing these turrets and keeps getting stronger. Lancer Gaming are surviving, but it just feels like a painful, slow, meticulous attack from U of A Amber onto Lancer Gaming that Lancer just happened to be surviving.
I mean, but we did see that was a great sequence from U of A. They're playing their side lanes, they're playing to their strength, and they're playing away from the strength of Lancer. It's almost like they're
Just dead
hearing.
here.
That looked like a prime Divine Sunder.
Bokcho is a 1v2 situation. He's gonna use the Zonias onto the ultimate. That Q went wide, but he's doing so much damage. Raven is almost dead. That Q barely missing. And it feels like Bokcho is just so close to hitting a clip. Just let this man hit a clip.
Okay, WeChat might be installing right now on his phone. On his,
It's on its way. Divine is getting absolutely one-tapped. All it needs is one more auto. The shield, the W, the flash, the chain CC. It's going to be a shutdown. It's so fun. U of A Amber just keep getting so close to killing, and Lancer Gaming just keep punching back.
But that's a huge death because 50 seconds on the clock. Remember, this is a level 18 Camille. Yeah, you have the stats, but also your respawn timer is oh my god, and we're dying again.
Wops is just dead. Why? Why? Just why? Just why?
They don't even want to let me make a color point. I was going to bring up the fact that U of A is down a member now for this Baron. They're not going to be able to play the Baron anymore. It's going to give Lancer Gaming the timing to play Baron and set up. But now they just throw it right back like a pendulum, and they're going to get a free Baron, and this might be the last thing that U of A needs. Oh my god, we're dying again. Dead!
But Varus is dead, but so is the Baron. The Baron is gone. Why are we not checking the Baron? Bokcho is looking for the Amber, and he's going to be able to find him.
What?
The Rise teleport. This is what we reworked Rise 5 times for. This is it. Zeus, he's going to get flash on top of him and just get absolutely demolished. Define has a 4-shot ready, but it does literally no damage to the Sejuani. She does not care. Your 4-shot is nothing to a bear in armor. Or pig? Bear pig? Whatever the case may be. And this time, U of A Amber, they have the Baron. Lancer Gaming are down 3 members, and this is the nail on the coffin here for Lancer Gaming. Baya Loves You is going to be looking for something here. Wops finds an okay ultimate. He's going to die instantly. Zekilos, though, doing a lot of damage with the needles, but it's just not enough. Close, but not quite. Lancer Gaming will not be able to bounce back in this best of 3, and U of A Amber take it relatively cleanly 2-0.
Lancer Gaming doing a good job of what their comp does, and that's defending against any aggression that U of A was bringing to them. But like we saw in the previous game of Game 1, they weren't able to find anything proactive. They were finding little moments, little glimpses of hope, but you have to keep pushing after that. You have to force the enemy team to make mistakes rather than assume that they are. Eventually, U of A realized, oh my god, guys, we're playing this game completely wrong. We have 2 side laners that are level 18, 4 levels above anyone else on the enemy team. Maybe we should let them side lane. And then they did. And then the game just was a lot more smooth. The sequences opened up, and they saw that Lancer didn't really have a lot of options to play. And U of A did a great job just sweeping from there, natural.
Yeah, that was something. It was difficult. It was a lot of back and forth. There were a lot of calls that were kind of questionable. That one, I think the moment that's ingrained in my mind is that Atakahan play where we're just throwing Sejuani ult, just throwing like a Varus ult in this direction, and just like no vision whatsoever. I don't know why those ultimates were thrown, but they were, and nothing hit, and then the Camille just flies over the wall into 3 members and just gets one-tapped. And that happened like over and over again, but eventually it doesn't matter. You cannot win a game of League of Legends by playing to not lose. And that's kind of what it felt like the entire time. There were a few nice picks and like counter punches by Lancer Gaming. But as you said, Lancer Gaming really struggled in both of these games to find proactive plays. And it feels like that was kind of their downfall.
Yeah, I feel like kind of in the draft was that problem. They didn't really have those tools to allow them to play proactive. I know I was a little judgmental of their lack of engaged support in game two. I was a little bit suspicious of their lack of engaged tool in game one, other than like Ash Arrow. But obviously they don't really use those tools that effectively, and that's a really big crux. But like you said, I mean, yeah, they had a couple good counter punches. I like to imagine like like at the end of a stream, there's like the replay of like all of
Mm-hmm.
the replays from before. But for me, it's like a montage of every time Camille hook shot into three of them, and then she just got CC'd in one shot. And like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I imagine natural. But like you said, I mean, U of A just looking amazing, and they're gonna be looking quite good looking at the grand finals tomorrow.
They're looking to win it all in the grand finals tomorrow. So we know for a fact that obviously University of Alberta are going to be in the finals. On the other side of the bracket, on the other side of the semifinals, it is currently 1-1.
Ooh.
I believe it's UTSC versus TMU. So whoever wins that semifinals is going to go up against the University of Alberta. If you're a coach or someone on the team that's about to go against University of Alberta, what would you say? What advice are you giving to these players or these drafts? What do you think has got to get off the board?
Uh, don't let Bakshuev rise.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of crazy. Don't
Yeah.
give him Mbessa. It does feel like he kind of has to play these like more niche mid laners, which I think you can actually abuse pretty well. Um, and abuse their bot lane. It seems like their bot lane might just be a little bit of a linchpin. The Jin or the Varus Karma was kind of getting destroyed bot lane. And if Lancer had a little bit better of a play through bot lane, that could have been an easy losing win condition for them. Yeah, try to go blow for blow rather than trying to counterpunch everything that U of A does because they are a really good proactive team. Um, that's kind of what I would be thinking personally. I don't know. Yeah.
And it sounds to me like we might just get an interview. I
Oh my
believe we are
God.
going to go on a little bit of a break first. Did I get that right? Okay. Yeah, we're going to take just a little bit of a break and then we're going to head into an interview. Be right back. We've got some questions to ask and we're going to see how they're answered. And welcome back. We've got an interview. Very quick setup, so very glad for that. Val Daniel, my man, you just won 2-0 and you're about to go into finals tomorrow. How are you feeling?
We're excited. The team's definitely excited. We're happy to be playing. Yeah, no complaints on our part. Game 2 it felt a little scuffed, to be honest, on my parts. Yeah, so that wasn't optimal, but can't complain. Game 1 felt a lot smoother.
Yeah. Let me ask you one thing. When you started like roaming around the map a lot, and there was a point where you were like, I think 3 levels down. At that point in the game, what was kind of going through your head? Were you like, oh shit, I've got to go back to like bot lane and like start getting some XP? Or were you confident that like the advantage that you were getting on the other side of the map would carry you through the game?
With the way we set up comp, we were pretty confident in our side laners to be able to play the game. So we had no worries in the terms of like stacking my XP. I tried to hands gap early. It didn't work. And so we said, we'll play 1-3-1. We'll win that way, you know?
Yeah, fair enough. T-Van, your question?
Yeah, I do have to ask another quick question about like your thoughts mid-game. What were your thoughts on like the times that you would F key to your top laner and see your top laner hook shot into their team and just get absolutely clobbered by all the CC? You know, Zyroot, Jinroot, Ivern, just getting one shot. Like, was it like, did you guys laugh? Or was that just like a low-key a tilter of, oh, we just dove, okay, yeah, there goes that.
No, we just laughed it off. Honestly, we can't complain. We knew, like, we were confident in what was happening. Even if we made misplays here and there, we were still sure in our in the future of the game. So we weren't too worried about any lost plays early on. Obviously, it sets behind like bot lane because we have to snowball, but we were okay.
Real.
Seems like you guys are confident and that the vibes are relatively good in comms, even when kind of throws are going back and forth. And that's really important, especially in these tournaments that are more for fun than for anything else. So I do think that's a great news for you guys. Looking towards tomorrow, is there anything in particular that you guys are planning or that you guys are like thinking about? It seems like, I mean, we're looking at kind of like the champions that you guys have played so far. It seems like the Rise is like a big point of contention for you guys. Bokchoy has been just putting out work on this champion. The Rakan looked pretty good on you as well in game 1. You know, we're going to give you some praise as well because you're the person we're interviewing, of course.
Thank you.
That engagement was pretty
You weren't
sick.
supposed to tell him that, man. You weren't supposed to tell him.
Hey, we're supposed to be nice. What do you mean? I mean, come on. We're not assholes here. Come on. But yeah, regardless, is there anything that you guys are like planning for in particular for tomorrow? Or are you guys just kind of like freeballing it? We're like, yeah, we've got the Rise. It's YOLO. Like we've got the hands.
It's not really about the Rise, honestly. I'm very like we've played this entire semester together, and like a few of us have been playing together for a bit more time than that. So we're confident in our Fearless draft. It's gonna be a best of 5, which I feel like we're confident going into. We're playing OQs this weekend, so it's good. It's good warm up for that. We're confident going into tomorrow, no matter what happens, pick ban wise. I'm sure our drafting, it's solid work.
Well, my man, do you have any final thoughts going into tomorrow? Any maybe trash talk for the teams that are still actually fighting out for that spot in the finals?
Never trash talk, dude. No trash talk.
Wow.
No, I can't.
Wow.
I can't send myself
Canadian,
under the
you
bus.
guys.
Like I can't
Oh
send
my
myself
God.
under the bus like that. Nah.
Okay,
That's
well, what
crazy.
about like some final thoughts for the fans? For the U of A fans, for the Valdania fans? Yeah.
U of A, Valdania fan. I don't know about that one, but U of A fans, thank you all for supporting. That's the biggest thing. Thank you all for checking out TIE, taking the time, support the broadcast, watch the broadcast. So, yeah.
Chat,
Fantastic
we did
answer.
not pay him to say that, by the way. We did not pay him.
He
He said that willingly.
He
He
did
said that
that out of his own
willingly.
volition. This guy's
I'm here,
PR
you know.
trained. I don't know. This
That's
is crazy.
great. Hey,
He's
we
like,
love it.
trash talk? What's that? I'm polite.
I don't know, man. The drama major. Oops.
Oh, we've got 2 drama
You're a
majors
drama
in this
major.
call.
Oh,
I already have my
wow.
degree,
Crazy.
but it's okay.
That's fair. That's fair.
Anyways. Well, the drama majors are here, but unfortunately, no trash talk. So for drama majors, you guys kind of suck. No, I'm just kidding. But regardless of that, I'm just kidding around, of course. But regardless, tomorrow is a best of 5 fearless for the finals, and I am very excited for that. For one, Valdenu, thank you so much for the interview. We'll see you tomorrow, and I hope to see some more exciting plays from you guys.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. We're just gonna close this out really quick. I've got some homework to do. But I've got like 3 hours left to do my problem set, so I gotta get out of here. I will be here as well. Me and T-Van will be here for the finals tomorrow, and we're very excited. I mean, best of 5 fearless. These players are great. Honestly, the level of play has been really, really good. So I'm really looking forward to it, T-Van.
Me too, man. I'm looking forward to you finishing your homework.
Yeah. No, it's brutal. It's brutal. If anyone knows basic sign language or not sign language, it doesn't matter. If you've taken Comp Sci 110 or 107 at UBC, you know the pain that I'm going through. If you don't, then it's fine. Anyways, with that being said, T-Man, do you have any final things to say for the stream?
Just if anyone else is taking Comp Sci 1010 at UBC, please help at NaturalCast on Twitter. DM him, help him out. I'm crying, bro.
Okay. That being said, thank you so much for joining the stream. Thank you again for BMO for sponsoring the stream, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night, guys.